Be cool, be kind, be classy. A cupcake so sweet and sexy. Have fun and enjoy the journey. Just have a good attorney. No big whoop, no biggie. She lives near New York City. And not just a YouTube show. When you know, you better grab a straw. Learn about the law. It's cool here in the shade, sipping motions of lemonade. Cool heads will prevail, kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Oh, Melanie Little is going live. Oh no, where is Melanie? Follow the island's melody. There's a concert within reach. No surprise, she's at Jones Beach. She heard some music far away. Captain Jack Stack Harbor Bay. He sings and his piano plays. Not all sounds are waterways. Speaking Yiddish or Latin, it's not just for Manhattan. It's for Goethe and Meshegas. Ridiculous that insanus. Oy vey, Marcus. Proset, that's for schmucks. Be cool, be kind, be classy. My cupcake's sweet and sassy. And not just a YouTube show. When you know. Cool heads will prevail. Kindness will never fail. Be classy and vastly wise. Melanie Little is going live.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, my friends. Thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. Today is Tuesday, April 15th, 2025. It's tax day. How's everyone today? You know what Tom Petty said? The waiting is the hardest part. Does anybody else feel like they're in limbo today? I know I do. I'm ready. I'm ready for this trial to get going, and it's not going. It's just not going. As of today, they've been through 591 total jurors that have been called in to choose from. I think yesterday they lost one and then they got one, so the number still sits at 16. There are 54 more jurors in today in the panel. Today's the 10th day of jury selection in the Karen Read trial. I think it's been twice as long as it took to pick the jury the first time. Wow. I don't know. I just feel like I'm in purgatory. I feel like I'm in the land of the lost. Melissa became a member. Welcome. Anya, welcome. Tracy gifted 5 memberships. Tracy Walker, thank you so much. That is so very generous of you. And to the 5 new members, you can thank Tracy Walker. She's a very generous contributor to the channel. And Elf is here and has been here for 15 months. You're like an OG. Elf loves my passion and dedication. Well, listen, I wouldn't have a channel if it wasn't for you guys. And look at this. Melanie Little's Magic 8 Ball is here with a $100 super chat so early in the morning. Oh, you're so sweet. Need peace of mind research, Operation Greylord. Thank you, Melanie, for keeping us up to date. Thank you. Thank you for your super, super generous super chat. And you always change your name, but I recognize your profile picture. So I see you. I know who you are. I appreciate you so much. And Elf is here. Thank you for gifting a membership. Thank you so much. And Uncivil Law is here. Does the IRS accept cupcakes in lieu of money? Asking for a friend. Yeah, I don't think so. Let's get an extension. Get an extension. Thanks. And the good ones are here too. And they've gifted a membership. And they're always amazing. And they're always amazing, as is Kaylee, right? Kaylee was here the other night, stole your phone. I saw you. You told me she did. Let's start off with something that's a little bit inspiring today. This is something that Mr. Read, Karen's father, said yesterday outside of court. And I would like to share that with you.
How do you feel about the jury selection so far? It was neutral today, right? Down 1, up 1, so we're still holding at 16, and we're back here tomorrow. Fun and games and good times, huh?
The pace is kind of slow compared to last year. We're almost double, 5 for 10 days of jury selection. To what can we attribute that, do you think, Bill?
I mean, by my count, we're into 3 years and running. So, I mean, there's too many people. A lot of people know what's going on, and they've formed their opinions. And of course, as the parents of Karen, we wholeheartedly believe their opinions are overwhelming when they look at the evidence, the ARCA, the dishonorable discharge of Trooper Proctor.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe that we're still doing this, but we are. And a lot of people know about it. I mean, they come in and they're being honest, and they have a. Thank you. They have an opinion, and it's probably difficult to shed that opinion and listen to something over 8 weeks. And 8 weeks is a long time. I mean, for prospective jurors, the idea of being out of work, and I don't know what the compensation is here, $12, $15 a day, and that's not going to cut it. So that presents a particular handicap. So you got 6 to 8 weeks, which is a handicap. And plus, again, so many people know about the Karen Read case. It's no longer just regionally, it's nationally and internationally. And
Mr. Reed, the Supreme Court is going to weigh in at the end of the month whether it's going to take up this. Should they put this trial on hold while waiting for the Supreme Court?
Well, I mean, you're going to have to ask Judge Beverly Canoni about that. I mean, that's certainly beyond my realm. I mean, I don't understand that. My sense is, from what I've heard from the team, is that they're going to conference on the 25th. And at that point, they may announce whether or not they're going to take up the case, or they may not announce. I just don't know.
And
Mr. Reed, how do you
there's
feel
been a
about-
lot of jurors who've been excused that we've seen. And do you feel that's a fair process that's taking place, that these are people who probably needed to go?
I think so. I think, in fairness, if people have a judgment ahead of time and a bias ahead of time, favorably or unfavorable toward our daughter, my son here, I think it's in the interest of fairness and justice. I mean, that's all we want is justice, to be fair.
Mr. Reed, you mentioned that this case is national now.
Yes.
Today, prosecutors filed a notice that they plan to use your daughter's statements as evidence against her, and your interviews as well. How does that make you feel?
This is the quote of the day from Bill Reed. First of all, what's with your camera person, WJAR10? Are you using like an iPhone? Like, is the person all wobbly or is it just me? Here it is.
Come at me.
Come at me. Come at
I live
me.
by the truth. I answer to a higher maker, and I'll tell the entire truth. And there's nothing that we are hiding in the Reed family. My daughter has spoken out of frustration. When we started off 6 months into this case, we had no idea the depth and the scope of the wall we were facing.
Hmm.
And my daughter reached out as a way of trying to get the story out. I mean, there were never these microphones in front of us 6 months into June 22. And now, we can't go out to dinner. We can't even go to Sunday Mass. We get, people asking us about the case. And so,
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
appreciate it.
They can't even go to church. They can't even go to church. They can't even go to Mass. I have had the pleasure of meeting Bill Reed several times, and he is one of the kindest people that I have ever met. Somebody said he's America's dad. I'll allow it. He's amazing. And what did he say? Come at me. Come at me. Her parents have been there for her every single day. This is going on more than 3 years that they've been dealing with this. And it is really, really tragic. He's an amazing man. He's an amazing human. He's the kindest person. And Zach says the story of an innocent accused has always resonated deeply in the human psyche, which is part of why the story of Jesus has been so powerful. Right? Yeah. And isn't it ironic, don't you think? A little too ironic that this is Holy Week. And also happy Passover to my friends who celebrate. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. Absolutely does. Absolutely does. And here's what I feel like today. Let me know if you can name this character. Let's see. I'm really dating myself with this reference, but I'm gonna have to enlarge it so that you can't cheat. Hold on. Ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Baby, let the games begin. Let the games begin. Let the games begin. Ah, ah, ah. Anybody know who that is? Name that character and name that television show before I take it down for getting stricken. I got stricken like right away on that. That is it. It's Land of the Lost, Grant's Pants, Land of the Lost, TC manager. Who's the character? That's it. Kokanowski is here. He knows it's Shaka. It's Shaka. That is right. It's Shaka. That's what it feels like. It feels like we're in the Land of the Lost. And then who gets to be Shaka? Like, is that whose character is that? For those of you who are interested in a little bit of trivia, the television show Land of the Lost ran from 1974 to 1977. And there were, let's see, how many episodes? It only ran for 3 seasons, 13 episodes in season 3. And that's a blast from the past, right? Land of the Lost. Yeah, that was crazy. Every Saturday morning, Land of the Lost, says Rule 17. You know, Marshall, Will, and Holly. I know fun fact, Tom Kokanowski and I, we didn't even know this until like we met through the Brian Camp trial. We're both freshmen at the same college at the same time, and we lived in the same dorm. We were both at Trinity College in Hartford for freshman year at the same time. We lived in the same dorm. And I don't know, Tom, you're going to have to send me a picture from freshman year to see if we recognize each other. If I can dig one up, I will. But it was not a great year for me. Yeah, isn't that so crazy? What a small world. Trinity College in Hartford is a small college. I think at the time there were only maybe 1,200 students. And look at Hot Wheels. It had a vintage Land of the Lost lunchbox. Wow. That's fun. The problem with Trinity was that it's a beautiful campus. It's a beautiful school. They have a beautiful chapel. It's modeled after, I think, Trinity in England. And it's but the problem is it's up on a hill, and down the hill, not a great area, nothing to do outside of campus. So I was not a fan, and I left. I hightailed it out of there and went to Boulder sophomore year, which is where I spent the next 6 or 7 years of my life because I loved Boulder so much as an undergrad that I decided to stay there and go to University of Denver Law School. Sko Buffs. Let's take a look at, this is from 3 hours ago. And this is Boston 5.
Jury selection in Karen Reed's second murder trial continues today. That process was stalled yesterday when a juror chosen from a previous pool was dismissed. A different man was added to the jury, keeping the total at 16. The judge wants 18 jurors, 12 who will deliberate, 6 alternates.
Ms. Reed, how do you feel about the lack of progress?
I'm okay with it. We can use time.
56 people making up yesterday's jury pool. 49 said they've heard about the case. 24 said they had already formed an opinion.
We are learning.
All right. 8 women, 8 men. That's where we stand right now. They are hoping to get 18 total, which means they still need another 2. There are 54 jurors in the panel today. I did not hear Judge Janine. What did she say? Did she say something stupid, or has she changed her take on the Karen Reed case since the last time I called her out on it for not knowing any facts? I did not hear her. So I don't know. Here's the good one. Wait, hold on. Wait. Mr. Peabody is here. He said, my wife showed me your channel and now I watch even when she's napping. Welcome, Mr. Peabody. Welcome. You have found your place. You have found your people. Tucker Carlson, I think, also went to Trinity. Right, Tom? I think he did. But I think he was not in our class. There were some pretty famous people in our class, but they've had some hard times since then. So it was a very, very wealthy, a lot of trust fund kids at Trinity College. Not me. I was not a trust fund kid. I don't think Tom was either, but a lot of wealth going on in the student body of Trinity College. Yep. Yep. Tucker did go to Trinity. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I have no idea what Judge Nadine said right now, but we will talk about that if we come across it. I do think that Mr. Reed saying "come at me" is like my happy place right now. Like it just makes me happy because I hate to see them going through this again. Again, look at Tom Kokonowski was on full financial aid. You know what? My mother saves everything she saves. And she's found my bill from freshman year at Trinity. And I think the tuition at the time was, I think, $8,000 for the whole year. Something like that. I don't remember, but I can't even imagine what it is now. It's got to be north of 70. It's got to be 75, 80 grand a year, right? Anybody who has kids in college? I have twins. So I'm feeling the pain. You know how much it costs for college nowadays. Hey, folks, lots of work ahead for Melanie. Let's get her to 100K. Yay, that'd be awesome. Why didn't opening statements happen? Because they just can't pick a jury. They just can't. They still need 2 more jurors. And so here's the thing. Technically, court is open on Friday, even though it's Good Friday. It's not a court holiday. Court is closed next Monday. It is Patriots Day, which I guess is the day for the Boston Marathon. So courts are closed next Monday, which happens to be the day after Easter. It is only on this case is scheduled only on the docket in mass courts through Thursday. So even if they get 2 more jurors today, will they start tomorrow or will they wait until Monday? Here's the problem. I mean, until Tuesday. Here's the problem with that. I mean, first of all, see you next Tuesday because isn't that appropriate? But here's the problem. The longer the jury waits, the more of a risk you take with losing jurors because Mr. Reed said it's $15 a day. I don't really know how much they get paid. Does anybody know for sure how much the jurors get paid per day in Massachusetts? I think in New York, maybe it's up to $40 a day. Still not enough. A lot of people's employers don't pay them while they're on jury duty. They can't fire you while you're on jury duty, but they don't have to pay you. And so for somebody to be out of work, the judge is telling them 6 to 8 weeks. You know it's going to be longer than that. You know it's going to be longer than that. Oh, look at AI says it's 70,000. I think it's probably more than that. That's probably just the tuition, and then the room and board is on top of that. They make 50 a day. That's what I thought. Thank you, all of AJ's nickels, because he said once, if I had a nickel for every time, I remember that. I'll allow it. They get the free lunch. They are getting the free lunch because the judge has said that they are going to get them lunch every day so they don't have to go outside. And I think she has shortened the lunch period from an hour to something like 45 minutes. So people that are retired are like, cool, yeah, I'll sit on jury duty. Students, maybe they're like, cool, but they can't, like if you're in college, you're getting into finals right now. So it's tough. It's going to be tough for anybody. Next week, a lot of schools are off. So a lot of families might have planned vacations and they do have plane tickets that they can't refund. And that is one of her hardships that she does allow. So according to Christina Rex, who is in the courtroom today and live tweeting, she says there are 54 in the pool today. And that there's been 591 jurors brought in total after 10 days. And today, out of 54 jurors, 43 have seen, heard, or talked about the case. 28 have formed an opinion about the case. 8 of them admitted to a bias or a favor for a particular party. And 25 out of 54 have a substantial scheduling hardship like plane tickets or surgery. So, I mean, you got to figure those people are going to be called up first, maybe, and excused first. And I'm not sure how they're doing it in the courtroom because I haven't been there for any part of this jury selection. I'm not sure if those are the people they bring up first and decide whether or not their excuse is legit. But look, if they're raising their hand to say, I have a hardship, they don't want to be there, right? And so you don't want jurors on your jury who don't want to be there. And you also, I guess, don't want jurors on your jury who are too eager to be there because they may, if you can't weed it out through your questioning, have a bias towards either side. And maybe, just maybe, there's a reason that they want to be there, right? Nothing free. No such thing as a free lunch, Amy. There's no such thing as a free lunch, right? Some states, I think it's still only like $10 or $15 a day. And I can't remember, but I know maybe it was Mississippi. And it was because remember the judge in the Carly Gregg trial? Can you remind me of that judge's name? He was very, making that trial go full steam ahead because he's like, these jurors are only here. They're only getting paid $15 a day. And he really, really wanted it to move quickly. And that was a Shonda, a Michigas of a trial. If you know, you know. You have to pay for your own parking in Massachusetts too. They charge you to park at the courthouse? That's crazy. Wow. All right, well, we're busy today because we have a bunch of filings to catch up on, and a bunch of filings, things that were filed yesterday and that were filed today. So that is where we will start. Oh, it was Judge White? No, Judge White was the Ashley Benefield trial. Who was the judge in the Carly Gregg trial? I don't remember. It's escaping me. Look at What the Duck with the gifting 5 memberships. Thank you so very much, Dewey. Dewey K. Arthur. That's it. I'll allow it. It was Dewey K. Arthur. That was his name. He was a good judge. I did like him. And I remember in that case, it was the jury who decided the sentencing, right? So we can't blame him for that. Okay, What the Duck, 5 memberships. Thank you so very much. Macbeth's Inferno, Divine Comedy, 9 Circles of Hell. Well done to your username. Well done. I have to say, I've called this a Shakespearean tragedy. Lady Macbeth at the helm, the gatekeeper to the gates of hell. And if you guys didn't see it, I did a show with Larry Foreman, DUI guy. And we taped it on Sunday. He released it yesterday. He's got a great editor, and it's a really good show. It's a really fast-paced conversation. It's about 50 47 minutes long or something. Did you guys watch it? Anybody watch it? It was a good show, right? It was we were verbally sparring for 47 minutes and it was quick. There was a lot of info in there and it's great. And some of you didn't know who Larry was apparently. So let me just refresh your recollection about who Larry was because my sister reminded me of this because my sister's been a LawTube fan for far longer than I've been a LawTuber. And so she reminded me of this and she said, "Oh my God, is that the DUI guy? Do you remember him?" Have you ever heard of Johnny Depp trial? Making that face behind Elaine. And there he is. That's Larry. So that was really fun. I had never met Larry before. And that was fun. Brenda, I have it in my community posts. It's linked there. Brenda says, Bill Reed is always a class act. Yes, 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 he is. And Glamasues, we are in the 9th circle of hell. Treachery. I never despised a prosecutor so much in my life. Well, you know what? Did you watch the Ashley Benefield trial? Because those 2 women prosecutors were like the evil stepsisters from Cinderella. Like they were really horrific. I will say, listen, I have to, give Hank Brennan maybe some well, I'll have to reserve my opinion on that because we haven't been to trial yet with Hank Brennan. We've only seen him in pre-trial. And so we'll see what happens. But thank you, Suze, for always being a generous contributor to the channel. And Nurse Kimberly from the Sunflower State is here for 9 months. Says I'm awesome. No, you're awesome. And postmenopausal New Hampshire woman has gifted a membership. And Isabel Park is here from New Zealand. Says you could pick across the pond, but they all know. I know. The world is watching, right? Isabel knows. All of AJ's Nichols says, I worked in HR at a bank in Dedham, and we paid our employees their regular pay, less $50 a day that they're paid for jury duty so they wouldn't lose money. I know this is rare for employers to do. It is rare. You're worked for a good company because not every company will do that. Of course, as a law firm, I always paid my employees when they had jury duty because we want to encourage good people to serve, right? And that's the difference between a law firm who understands the situation and how people can't afford to live on what they're paying you and other companies. But shout out to your bank. Thank you for your super chat. All of AJ's Nichols and Kay Willis is here. She's a realtor south of Boston. So if you want to get the hell out of Massachusetts, Kay Willis might be your girl. And she gifted 5 memberships. So there you go. Thanks, Kay. Shout out to you. All right. Let's get back to it because there's a couple of things that are there's a couple of things here to go through. So let's get to the quickest ones first. Let's go to first, we're going to talk about the unopposed motion of Gretchen Voss to relieve her of the sequestration order, because as you know, or maybe you don't know, but I will tell you that all witnesses who are on the witness list, and there's 150 prospective witnesses on the combined witness list, and we've had to listen to it in alphabetical order by first name every single time we've watched the opening for jury selection, and it's the same every single day. So I didn't think we needed to do it today because we have other things to do. So I scheduled this for after it was over. So in case you wanted to watch it somewhere else with, a chat like Law and Crime, good luck to you if you survived there. The 150 witnesses on that list are not allowed to be in the courtroom before their testimony. And the court has made a ruling in this case that the defense made a motion to say to the court, listen, some jurors have come out, after the first trial, and in addition to saying that they agreed to acquit Karen Read on counts 1 and 3, they've also said that they felt very intimidated by the people who were named third-party culprits, namely Brian Albert and Colin Albert, sitting in the O'Keefe's box during closings and staring them down. They felt very intimidated that Jennifer McCabe was there and Brian Albert was there and Colin Albert was there. And I think Kerry Roberts was there too. And I don't know if they were intimidated by Kerry Roberts, but they said, because of that, Your Honor, we think it would be prejudicial to have them there at closing. So we would like you to rule that they are excluded from the courtroom before and after their testimony and during closings. Well, the judge ruled on that very quietly. It's just a little notation in the docket. And she said, okay, they are excluded before and after their testimony. But once the close of evidence happens and closings begin, the courtroom is open to whoever wants to come, or, to whoever the O'Keefe family wants to invite, because they only have 10 seats for the O'Keefe family, 10 seats for the Read family and friends, and 10 seats for the media. There are no publicly available seats in this courtroom, which is unlike any trial that we've watched lately, which always has a public component to it. In fact, so many of our fellow law tubers were sitting in line all night in Indiana to get into the Delphi trial, right? They had line sitters eventually, but Andrea Burkhart was there, and lawyer Lee was there, and Bob Mata, I think, had a seat with the family, so he didn't have to sit outside in the rain and the fold-up chairs. But usually there's some public seating, and here there's not. So the judge is going to allow them in. However, Gretchen Voss is a reporter for Boston Magazine. She's on the witness list, or witless list, as I like to call it. And she has made a motion, which is apparently unopposed, to be exempt from the sequestration order. Let's take a look at that. This is docket number 666. It was filed yesterday. Today's the 15th, right? Yesterday was the 14th. And it is called the unopposed motion of Gretchen Voss for exclusion from sequestration order. And this was made by her counsel. We've seen him in the courtroom before. The judge loves him. She loves him. Every time he comes in, she's very kind to him. This is him, right? Wait, hang on a second. Robert Burt. I'm going to butcher his last name. Birchke or Birchie, right? Isn't he the older man who comes in and she loves every time he comes in? He's been in a couple of times. And this was filed yesterday, 11:45 a.m. It is the unopposed motion of Gretchen Voss for exclusion from sequestration order. Third-party journalist Gretchen Voss respectfully moves for an order excluding her from the provisions of the witness sequestration order in this case. Remember also, she moved during the first trial to also be exempt, and it was granted. So perhaps this time everyone decided not to oppose it, because the next sentence says, counsel for both the Commonwealth and the defendant have indicated they do not oppose this motion. As grounds for her motion, Voss states that 1, the Commonwealth and defendant have agreed that Voss will not be called as a witness at trial. I find it a little bit surprising, especially because it seems that Gretchen Voss has aligned herself with some of the very, very anti-Karen Read people. So that's interesting. Yeah, Gretchen 666. Is this really 6? It is 666. You can't make it up. And there was some rumor and speculation that she may or may not have had some hallucinogenics with one of the people involved in perhaps framing Aidan Carney, but that is neither here nor there. So I thought that would have been great fodder for cross-examination. However, neither one says they're going to call her. So, and number two, enforcing the sequestration order against Voss would violate her First Amendment rights under U.S. v. Connolly, excluding reporters from witness sequestration order for criminal trial. Voss further states as follows. It's very funny. Tail like confetti fairy says, clear and funny way of saying nobody cares about you, Gretchen. Well, oh, Northern Lights are tonight. That's amazing. I'm going to watch Instagram for that, for some cool pictures, says Canadian Gooner. Thank you for reminding us to look out for that. Voss further states as follows. Gretchen Voss, a contributing editor for Boston Magazine, has been covering this case since its inception. She reported and wrote the story, quote, The Killing That Tore a Town Apart, which was published in the October 2023 issue of Boston Magazine and posted online at bostonmagazine.com. She has continued her reporting on the court proceedings since then for future coverage of the case, whether for Boston or another media outlet. Voss was not a party or witness to any criminal activity relating to this case. Rather, her connection to the case arises only from her accurate reporting of news to the public. Well, I mean, some people might disagree about its accuracy, but I don't know. It's been a long time since I read that article. I remember we read it when it first came out. 3, in response to the Commonwealth's renewed motion for records, and as ordered by this court on January 31st of 2025, Voss turned over the audio recordings of 2 on-the-record interviews she conducted with defendant Reed and her counsel. It is her understanding that the Commonwealth intends to use portions of those recordings at trial. We're going to go over the Turtle Boy filing after this one, Mickey, because they relate to each other, and we have not had a chance to read it, and it has not been ruled on yet. So thank you for that question. It is her understanding that the Commonwealth intends to use portion of those recordings at trial. So remember, the court also ordered originally, this time for the retrial, the re-persecution, that Gretchen Voss had to turn over her off-the-record conversations. And I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, because there's been 7 million motions in this case, as you can see. We're up to filing number 666. I believe that her attorneys came in and said, listen, she's still afraid for her life. She's been getting threats and death threats. We're not getting opening statements today, Marco. No, we're not. We don't know when. We don't know when it's going to happen. They still need 2 more alternate jurors. The judge said, okay, I'm not going to make her turn over the off-the-record conversations because Massachusetts is one of a handful of states that does not recognize a journalistic shield or privilege. And quite frankly, if the judge starts ordering people like Gretchen Voss to turn over her off-the-record conversations, nobody's going to talk to her. Nobody is going to talk to her. No, Gretchen Voss is not being called by either side. Please do not spread information. So no, she's not going to be used to authenticate anything because both sides have agreed not to call her. So they must have stipulated to the authenticity of these recordings. Otherwise, they wouldn't be coming in and they wouldn't be making this statement that they're not going to call her. 4, although Voss's name originally appeared on the Commonwealth's prospective witness list, counsel for both the Commonwealth and the defendant have informed undersigned counsel that Voss will not, in fact, be called as a witness at trial. Instead, the Commonwealth and the defendant intend to stipulate as to the authenticity of the records produced by Voss, thereby rendering Voss's testimony unnecessary. By virtue of the court's random selection process, Voss has been approved to attend and report on the trial of this case. Prohibiting her from doing so by enforcing the sequestration order against her would threaten the public's understanding of events occurring at trial and unnecessarily interfere with the free flow of information. There can be no question that Voss has a First Amendment right to attend the trial of this case. According to a U.S. Supreme Court case from 1982, Globe newspaper versus Superior Court. And to do so to the same degree as other members of the press. Only in the most extraordinary circumstances is the government permitted, consistent with the First Amendment, to discriminate among members of the press in granting access to trials and other governmental proceedings. Citing Anderson v. Cryovac, a First Circuit case from 1986, holding that a court may not selectively exclude news media from access to information otherwise made available for public inspection. Such a practice is unquestionably at odds with the First Amendment. 7. Exclusions from sequestration orders are commonly granted, particularly for non-adversarial witnesses. Citing Connolly, noting abundant precedent for exclusion with respect to certain categories of witnesses, such as government case agents in criminal cases and expert witnesses in both civil and criminal cases. Given the stipulation to which the Commonwealth and defendant have agreed, and in view of the exceedingly narrow scope of any relevant testimony Voss might offer, the public interest in her being able to cover this proceeding far outweighs any conceivable interest in excluding her from the trial. See generally U.S. versus Sepulveda, which is a First Circuit case from 1993. District courts have considerable discretion in fashioning sequestration orders. 9. As it was also true in Connolly, allowance of this motion has the salutary effect of permitting Voss to meet her important First Amendment responsibility of keeping the public informed as to the events taking place in open court. For all the above reasons, Voss requests that the court enter an order excluding her from the witness sequestration order. In this case, XOXO, Gretchen Voss by her attorney, Robert Berschke. And that was dated April 14th, which was just yesterday. And this was not yet ruled on. And people are saying, does this also apply to Aidan Carney? Well, that was not his attorney who made that motion, and so it can't apply to Aidan Carney. But never fear, because Tim Bradel and Mark Betterow made the same motion on behalf of Aidan Carney, which we are going to look at now. And of course, this motion has not been ruled on yet either. So let's take a look. This is docket number 665, which is the docket number right before the Gretchen Voss motion. And so let's take a look at this. But first, let's thank Mac RN for gifting 5 members. Thank you, Mac RN. And thank you to Bella Rose for becoming a member. And Nightclubs for your super chat. Remember how Hank was so dramatic and lied numerous times and swore up and down. There were so many admissions of guilt and confessions at the November 26th there. Oh, I remember. Yes. We were all there. He lies a lot in open court, and he's very dramatic. It's going to be interesting to see if he's able to get away with that during the actual trial, because those grave concerns might not have been so grave if Mr. Brennan actually told the truth about where he got those documents from regarding ARCA, because they really came from the defense, not the feds. But the grave concerns only seem to be for things that the defense do, and never for things that Hank Brennan does, or Brennan. So let's put him up there. There's his name tag. Hello, my name is Hank Brennan. We're going to look at some filings today, filed by him, that are only going to confirm our suspicions that his paralegal does in fact hate him. All right, this is docket number 665. Docket number 665. This has not yet been ruled on. And this is in the Commonwealth versus Karen Reed. This is intervener, alleged witness Aidan Carney's motion to be exempted from sequestration order. Notice also that by alphabetizing the combined witness list by first name, it puts Aidan Carney right at the top of the list. He's number 1 on the list. And thank you, Team Brittany, for reminding everyone that we like to keep it drama-free here. So we like to keep family relationships and problems out of the chat, please. Thank you. Hold on while I take a sip. Talk amongst yourselves for a second. There are many, many other channels that you can go to for your drama fix. This is not one of them. Okay. Let me get my red pen out, because this girl loves a red pen. So, and I haven't had a chance to read the whole entire thing. And so here we go. Thank you, Ashley, for your super sticker. I appreciate you very, 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 very much. Kelly Reed is Bill Reed's cousin. Okay, we can put the chatter to bed. Kelly Reed is Bill Reed's cousin. Thank you. You're getting the straight facts from me. Okay, here we go. Now comes Mr. Aidan Carney by and through his attorneys and respectfully requests that this honorable court exempt him from the court's sequestration of witnesses order. In support of his motion, Aidan Carney states the following. 1. Mr. Carney has been named as a prosecution witness in the above entitled action. As detailed below, the Commonwealth has represented that it may call him as a rebuttal witness to establish Karen Reed's purported consciousness of guilt. 2. Mr. Carney is an independent, credentialed journalist who has been issued a press pass through the media office of the Supreme Judicial Court. Journalism is his full-time job and his primary source of income. Since early 2023, Mr. Carney's reporting has almost exclusively focused on the Reed case. His coverage of the Reed case includes publishing articles which to date number over 500. Quote, live tweeting important case developments as they occur, and hosting an online stream in which he discusses and analyzes issues related to the Reed case. His streams often attract tens of thousands of viewers who watch Mr. Carney for case news, updates, and analysis. I want to point out here that Mr. Carney did not start reporting on the Karen Reed case until, it says early of 2023. I think you guys have pointed out to me his first article ever on Karen Reed was in something like March or April of 2023. And there's so much misinformation out there about Aidan Carney being the one to say that John O'Keefe was beat up inside the house and that he spread that and it's a rumor and that's the first time it ever came out was when Aidan Carney got involved in the reporting. And that is 100% untrue because from what we went over prior to the first trial and during the first trial, when Karen Reed was arrested for the second time by Yuri Buchanan and Michael Proctor, and we've seen some gross video that just came out in the new Body in the Snow documentary on Discovery ID and Max. When they went to her house to arrest her for the second time, and by the way, they went around to her back door. Do you remember that? And there's some Ring camera footage of it, and that's what we see when Karen Reed comes out and they handcuff her, and she's like in pajamas, and she's like, I don't have any, can I go get some undergarments? I don't have any undergarments. And then Proctor says something like, you see, all she cares about is how she looks on TV. Well, what they didn't show, or maybe they did show it on the documentary, I don't remember. But when they hauled Karen Reed into wherever they took her to upgrade her charges to second-degree murder because she didn't take a plea the first time in February, she says on body cam footage that was worn by Yuri Buchanan, we're all in on the same joke, right? My taillight was cracked and John was pulverized. Brian Albert and Colin Albert beat him up in the house or something like that. That's paraphrased. So the Commonwealth, through Michael Proctor and Yuri Buchanan, because they are employed by the Commonwealth, and they are part of the prosecution team, have known about this theory since at least June of 2022. Hold on. And so there's that. It wasn't Aidan Carney who broke that story. He may have reported on it, but for the Commonwealth to literally put out there on social media that this is some sort of fabrication by Alan Jackson, that nobody ever knew, that she thought that, well, she did think that, and it was brought to the attention of David Iannetti's office within a few days of her arraignment when Steve Scanlon called the office and told them what he heard had happened in the basement. And so that is a fallacy. But in any event, I digress. Moving on. Number 3. The Karen Reed case is a high-profile criminal case for which, for more than 2 years, has been the subject of extensive local and national media attention, and maybe not just national, it's international. If you are watching today internationally, please let us know in the chat or in the comments from which country outside the U.S. you are watching. And whether or not it is in your local media. Maybe you just find it on YouTube because you like to watch it on YouTube, but does your local media internationally report on this too? I don't know. The case is a matter of great public concern in substantial part due to Mr. Carney's reporting on the matter, which started in 2023, and his belief that Ms. Reed has been framed as part of a corrupt and or incompetent investigation by law enforcement, which has included the Norfolk County District Attorney's Office, the Massachusetts State Police, and collusion with assorted civilian witnesses, right? Some of whom have had dinner with reporter Gretchen Voss, and some of whom have also become very close with, apparently, Julie Grant from Court TV. If you know, you know. And you can just see it on Twitter because we're going to look there later. Who's this John DePetro guy who was yelling at Karen Reed? What other murderers do you support? Do you think OJ was framed? What other murderers do you support? From the press line yesterday as she's leaving court or going in, I think she was going into court. And ask yourself this. If Aidan Carney was in the press, there's only a certain amount of reporters that are allowed in front of their courtroom, in front of the courthouse, on the courthouse steps with their cameras. If Aidan Carney had yelled that at Karen Reed or someone else, do you think he would be arrested on witness intimidation charges? It's insane. And he's posting it on his social media like he's proud of it. Okay. Mr. Carney's reporting played a prominent role in the creation of the Free Karen Reed movement, a nationwide and worldwide group of Reed supporters that has grown so large and is so vocal in their support of Miss Reed's innocence that the court, balancing the First Amendment right of Miss Reed's supporters to express their opinion on the case, or an opinion on the case with Miss Reed's right to a fair trial, created a buffer zone for their free expression prior to the first trial. Due to the immense public interest in this trial, which has substantially increased since the first trial, and the court's concern that jurors not be impacted by Free Karen Reed supporters expressing their First Amendment rights, the court has expanded the buffer zone for the second trial. Put simply, the public interest in this case is so immense, and it is critical that the credentialed journalists be provided the opportunity to cover and report on the trial. Also recall that, I'm going to break from the document for a second to remind you that a few citizens who had been holding signs up saying that Judge Beverly Cannoni is corrupt and directly targeting Judge Cannoni with their signs, filed a lawsuit in federal court against the Massachusetts Superior Court and Judge Cannoni, saying that this new buffer zone is unconstitutional. We went over the decision from federal court yesterday, and that temporary restraining order request was denied. So there's that. 4, in what appears to be the latest move as part of their ongoing plan to silence Mr. Carney by suppressing his critical coverage of this case, the Commonwealth seeks to exploit the sequestration order by naming him as a potential prosecution witness, which would subject him to the routine general sequestration order entered in the case, lead to his exclusion from the courtroom, and prevent him from reporting on the case. In essence, the mere act of naming Mr. Carney as a potential prosecution witness would enable the Commonwealth to silence a journalist who is an influential supporter of Karen Reed and a leading critic and foe of the prosecution. The Commonwealth's desire to entirely gag and sequester Mr. Carney, such that he could not even observe the proceedings or discuss them in any manner, will harm the public's right to information on an important matter of public concern, since many people rely on his reporting for updates on the case. And we know, or we've seen recently, that Hank Brennan pulled these same shenanigans in in the Whitey Bulger case. He put some reporters and some journalists / reporters on his witness list in the Whitey Bulger case to try and keep them out of the courtroom as well. It's not his first time pulling this trick out of his arsenal. 5, if Mr. Carney were subject to the sequestration order based on the mere possibility that he might be a prosecution rebuttal witness on the relatively minor issue discussed below, which may not even be admissible against Ms. Reed, it will literally prevent Mr. Carney from performing his chosen profession, cause him great economic harm, and unduly restrain his First Amendment right to provide the public with information on a matter of great public concern. There is a danger that excluding Mr. Carney from the courtroom and denying him the opportunity to cover this case will be cited as precedent by unscrupulous prosecutors. That's a little dig. Can I see some shovel emojis in the chat, please? We have so many emojis for this trial that I can't wait to start using again. Let's start that sentence again. There's a danger that excluding Mr. Carney from the courtroom and denying him the opportunity to cover this case will be cited as precedent by unscrupulous prosecutors who, in future cases, place any vocal critic with a public platform on their witness list in order to silence their criticism of the government. But you know what's good too? The handcuffs emoji would be good for this one too. To the extent the court has any concerns with the impact or content of Mr. Carney's First Amendment right to report on this case during trial, the court's repeated admonition to jurors about their obligation to avoid any media coverage in this case, including online media, will assuage any concern that Mr. Carney's right to report on the trial may improperly influence the jury. Indeed, whether Mr. Carney is able to report on this case or not should not impact the court's well-founded concern that the jury not be exposed to any outside media influence, irrespective of whether that content tends to favor Ms. Reed or the Commonwealth. Oh, that's a little fakakta. Hang on, let me fix that. 7, in considering the Commonwealth's motive for placing Mr. Carney on their witness list, thereby subjecting him to the sequestration order, the court should take note that this is not the first time Commonwealth lead counsel Brennan appears to have exploited a witness list by including journalists critical to his position on it for the purpose of suppressing their ability to report on the case, rather than for a good faith reason to examine the journalist / purported witness. You know what? I hadn't read this yet. So when I just told you that, I didn't even realize it was in the papers. It was in the papers. It was in the papers, Jimmy, 2 times. Yeah, let's see some boss baby emojis. Boss baby emojis for Brennan. Boss baby emojis because he thinks he's the boss and he thinks he doesn't suck. And also that we invented the boss baby emoji for the Robert Tellis trial in Las Vegas because his employees who were disgruntled called him boss baby. So we made that emoji, but now I'm going to allow it for boss baby Brennan. And here's what he did. In U.S. versus James Bulger, the defense team, which included Mr. Brennan, sought to exclude 3 journalists whose reporting was understandably critical of Whitey Bulger, a notorious and treacherous gangster and murderer. Oh, I didn't mean to cross that off. By naming them as potential witnesses against Bulger. See the decision here, dated June 7th of 2013, and the transcript is filed as Exhibit A. The court denied the defense's effort to exclude the reporters from the trial, finding little danger of fabrication, inaccuracy, or collusion. The court noted that the First Amendment interests of the journalists to report on a high-profile matter of great public concern outweighed the minuscule risk that if called as impeachment witnesses, their presence covering the case as journalists could shade their testimony. The court also questioned the defense's claim that testimony from any of the journalists would be admissible or necessary. And I mean, really, just, use your common sense. Do you really think that Hank Brennan is going to risk calling Aidan Carney to the stand? Do you really think that? Hell to the no. Okay. 8. Here, the ostensible purpose for the Commonwealth's inclusion of Mr. Carney on their witness list is to keep him, quote, on ice as a possible rebuttal witness regarding Ms. Reed's purported consciousness of guilt based upon her alleged communications with Mr. Carney. Notably, the Commonwealth already has represented to the court that they do not intend to introduce any such evidence in their case in chief, and that they only intend to do so on their rebuttal case if the defense opens the door during cross-examination of witnesses the Commonwealth alleges were intimidated by Mr. Carney and Ms. Reed. At best, The purported evidence of Ms. Reed's consciousness of guilt and Mr. Carney's testimony in support of such a claim is weak, speculative, and to the extent that it is even remotely admissible, its probative value almost certainly will be outweighed by its prejudicial impact. Thus, without regard to the merits of the Commonwealth's speculation about Mr. Carney's knowledge or ability to provide relevant evidence of Ms. Reed's purported consciousness of guilt, the likelihood of the admissibility of the evidence and or the Commonwealth's need for Mr. Carney's testimony at trial is virtually non-existent and is substantially outweighed by Mr. Carney's First Amendment right to report on the case and his right to earn a living. 100%. 9. Assuming arguendo that evidence of Ms. Reed's consciousness of guilt based upon her interactions with Mr. Carney is admissible, it is hard to fathom why the Commonwealth would deliberately draw attention to Mr. Carney's actions and his motivation for them by calling him as a witness without having any opportunity to speak to him in advance of his testimony. I mean, really, come on, right? You want to give him the chance to unload? Go for it. Go for it. Just like they're never in a million years going to call Bill Reed to the stand. You saw what he said yesterday. Go ahead, open that can of worms, folks. They're not going to do it. It strains credulity. Oh, I love that. We have merch. It strains credulity. I've been saying that since the Maya trial. We've got merch with Alice in Wonderland on it. It strains credulity. We may do it, you know what? Based on the fact that that's a little nod and a wink, 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 say no more, say no more. We may give away some merch at the end of the stream today. Let's do a giveaway. I feel like we need to. Paid forward. It strains credulity that experienced prosecutors would willingly afford Mr. Carney the opportunity, on direct examination no less, to explain and then place in context the substance of his purported communications with Ms. Reed, where such evidence clearly would be harmful to the Commonwealth's case and almost certainly support the defense's position. But simply, the likelihood that the Commonwealth will actually call Mr. Carney as witness appears virtually non-existent. Yeah, but they did get to hear his name first in the alphabetical by first name witness list, except for Trooper Michael Proctor, who's under the T section instead of the D section for disgraced, dishonorably discharged Trooper Proctor. Or under M for Michael, just because he's now not a trooper anymore. But, you know, I digress again. 10, it is clear that Mr. Carney's First Amendment rights as a journalist to continue his reporting on a matter of great public concern and his right to earn a living substantially outweigh the Commonwealth's dubious and transparent speculative assertion that he may be needed as a rebuttal witness. Mr. Carney respectfully brings to this matter to the court's attention before jury selection begins on Tuesday, April 1st of 2025. Well, that she didn't rule on it yet, and he's been in the courtroom. He was in last week a couple of days for jury selection. So, you know, they gave her notice. That's so funny. Running on Caffeine says, why is Three Companies theme song, come and knock on my door? Yes, I know. If you know, you know. That's hilarious. Very, very funny. See generally Press Enterprise Code versus Superior Court, which is a U.S. Supreme Court case from 1984. Public's First Amendment right of access to criminal trials extends to jury voir dire. 11. In these circumstances, enforcing a general sequestration order to exclude Mr. Carney, a credentialed journalist, from attending the trial and reporting on this case would violate the First Amendment. There is no question that he has a First Amendment right to attend the trial of this case. Citing Globe newspaper versus Superior Court, 1982 U.S. Supreme Court case. 12. To the extent the Commonwealth has, in fact, sought to exclude Mr. Carney because he's a well-known, vocal, and prominent critic of their case against Ms. Reed, the First Amendment does not permit or tolerate discrimination between members of the press in granting access to trials and other governmental proceedings, including where, as here, Mr. Carney's exclusion appears to be based upon disdain for the content of his reporting rather than his actual need as a witness. Yeah, and we're going to take a look at who was chosen through their alleged random lottery system to be in court this week. And also, I think 5 out of the 10 selected did not show up yesterday, which is why Christina Rex and Ted Daniel were allowed in, because 5 of the 10 did not show up. So it's crazy. Oh, really? There's 7,000 yeah, there's 7,109 people, and only how many have hit the like button? A little over 2,000. Yeah, we can do better. We could do better. Don't forget, it's like when you come to somebody's house, you wipe your feet at the mat, you hit the like button, helps a girl out, helps the stream, helps the world learn more about this case. Thank you, KPT, for reminding everyone. You guys, if you're on your phone, you might need to close out the chat. Oh, we have a troll emoji too. Remember the troll emoji? Look, I'll put it in there for you. We had to make that for the Karen Reed trial because there's so many. There's so many. Footnote number 1 says, during the first trial, Detective Lieutenant Brian Tully of the Massachusetts State Police, an essential witness against Ms. Reed and Mr. Carney, acting as a messenger for prosecution witness Gretchen Voss, blankety blank blank blank. There's a whole redaction there. The whole rest of that sentence and the whole first 20% of the next line is redacted. Tully was acting as a messenger for Gretchen Voss? What? I need to know what it says underneath that redaction. Oh, there could be like a whole nother line underneath that because it's not double spaced. This is single space. So the whole rest of that line, a whole nother line, and then 20% of the third line. Then it says, Ms. Voss did, in fact, attend the first trial despite being on the Commonwealth's witness list. What did Tully do? What did Tully do? That redhead, yes, he can actually plead the 5th. So I don't want to spread that information too, but he can plead the 5th if we're talking about Aidan Carney. Because he is charged with crimes in another court, actually in this court as well. So he can. I don't know if that's what you're referring to, but I just want to clarify the record if that's what you are referring to. And he has said, I think it has been, well, let's keep reading because it may be in here. Unless you were talking about a different witness. I don't know. Sometimes I just see the chat fly by and I just feel like I need to set the record straight because we like to deal in facts and reality. You're talking about Proctor. If there's something that may incriminate him, he is allowed to plead the 5th. He can. He absolutely can. All right, let's move on. Anderson v. Cryovac. The court may not selectively exclude news media from access to information otherwise made available for public inspection. Such a practice is unquestionably at odds with the First Amendment. Neither the court nor any branch of the government can be allowed to affect the content or tenor the news by choreographing which organizations have access to relevant information. Choreographing, I like that. The use of that word, especially since we're dealing with a pirouette in this case. So it seems apropos. Citing McCoy v. Providence Journal Company. First Circuit case, U.S. Supreme Court, 1951. City could not allow one newspaper access to public records and not another. 13. Exceptions to sequestration orders are commonly granted. There is abundant precedence for exclusion from a sequestration order with respect to certain categories of witnesses, such as government case agents in criminal cases and expert witnesses in both civil and criminal cases. Citing U.S. v. Connolly again. Given the unlikelihood that Mr. Carney will be called to testify, and in view of the exceedingly narrow scope of any relevant testimony he might offer, the public interest in his being able to cover this proceeding far outweighs any conceivable interest in excluding him from the trial of this case. And you see how they keep repeating. I'm not sure who exactly drafted this, whether it was Betterow or Bradel, but the court has to balance. It's a balancing test. Public interest in him being able to cover this proceeding is outweighing any conceivable interest in excluding him from the trial of this case. See generally U.S. v. Sepulveda, 1993, First Circuit case. District courts have considerable discretion in fashioning sequestration orders. Indeed, the Commonwealth sought and obtained exemptions for District Attorney Morrissey and a victim advocate, that is Steve Nelson, They don't name him here. He's the victim and witness advocate. In the case at the final pretrial conference, two witnesses who clearly favor the prosecution in this matter. That's right. So Michael Marcy and Steve Nelson are exempt from the sequestration order as well. 14, finally, based upon their placement of Mr. Carney on their witness list and recent filings and proceedings held before this court and Judge Sisitsky, right, the ex parte, when they tried to do ex parte, it is obvious that the Commonwealth, A, believes that Mr. Carney's testimony will incriminate both himself and Ms. Reed, and B, knows that if Mr. Carney is called as a witness, he will be unable to report on this case. Footnote 2, which says, the irony of the Commonwealth's conduct is not lost upon us. In essence, the Commonwealth has placed Mr. Carney on the witness list for the purpose of silencing his criticism of them, with full knowledge it will cause him economic and or emotional harm, which is a form of harassment akin to the witness intimidation charges they have repeatedly charged him with. Wow, that should be like blown up and put on a poster and framed, because that is some fine legal writing right there. The irony is not lost upon us. No, it's sure isn't. It's not lost upon us anyway. As the court is aware, Mr. Carney presently is under indictment for several counts of alleged witness intimidation related to his interactions with some of the witnesses against Ms. Reed. In March of 2024, a grand jury declined to indict it doesn't say indict, but I think it should say indict. The grand jury declined to indict Mr. Carney and Ms. Reed for conspiring to commit witness intimidation. But on March 20th, 2025, Special ADA Cosgrove represented that this matter was still under investigation and could result in the Commonwealth impaneling a second grand jury. Well, if Cosgrove was mistaken in saying that, he shot himself in the foot. And if he was accurate in stating that, that's just effing ridiculous. Because as Saul Walkler once said, Saul Walkler was the judge of the highest court in New York State. A good prosecutor can get a grand jury to indict a ham sandwich. Well, apparently in March of 2024, the grand jury in Norfolk County did not indict the ham sandwich. That was Karen Reed and Aidan Carney, which says a lot. Putting aside the issue of whether the Commonwealth may offer Ms. Reed's alleged uncharged bad acts, which are presently under investigation, as evidence of her consciousness of guilt during this trial, as a matter to be addressed by Ms. Reed's legal team if appropriate, it is clear that if Mr. Carney were examined under oath as a prosecution witness, the Commonwealth would seek testimony from him, which they deem incriminating to Ms. Reed and himself as related to his existing indictments and the alleged investigations cited by Mr. Cosgrove. There can be little doubt that the Commonwealth would then seek to use Mr. Carney's Reed trial testimony against him in proceedings against him. Right. We see what you're doing here, and no. 15, in these circumstances, as attorneys for Mr. Carney, we have no choice but to inform the court that if Mr. Carney were to be called as a witness against Ms. Reed, due to the proposed subject matter of his testimony and the circumstances described above, on the advice of counsel, Mr. Carney will assert his Fifth Amendment privilege and refuse to answer any questions. This fact, without more, should exempt Mr. Carney being subject to the court's order for sequestration of witnesses. For the foregoing reasons, the court should allow Mr. Carney to be exempted from the sequestration order. Wherefore, Mr. Carney respectfully requests that the court enter the foregoing order and any and such other relief as it deems meet and proper. XOXO. Timothy Bradel. This was filed, by the way, on March 30th of 2025. I'm going to tell you when they actually put it in the docket, because it wasn't anywhere near March 30th. XOXO. Timothy Bradel, Mac Betterow. for Aiden Connie. All right. Moving on. All right, so that was dated March 30th, and then let me see the affidavit of service. It says it was also served on March 30th. Let me see when it was actually put in the docket. Yeah, it wasn't even entered into the docket until April 10th. Okay. So I don't know what's going on over there, but are you surprised? Let's go to the chat. Fraudnella. Melanie, completely off topic question, but what is the color on your walls? I'm obsessed. It is Tiffany blue. Tiffany blue. I took years ago when I wanted to live inside of a Tiffany box, I took an actual Tiffany box to the paint store and had them match the color. So it doesn't have a name other than, Audrey Hepburn is right in front of me here on this wall over here. Breakfast at Tiffany's. If you know, you know. Thank you for asking and for your super chat. Matilda's watching from the Netherlands. Welcome, Matilda. Thank you for your super chat. Casey says, are you going to cover more on the super situation in Boulder? Regardless, I always learn a lot from you. Well, that trial's been over for a long time. Thank you for your super chat, but that was a very, very, very long time ago. Is anything else happening new on that trial or on that? He was convicted of many, 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 many murders. I don't know, Casey. Thank you so much. I haven't been following it lately because, I'm been single thread on this and will be for quite some time, for however long this trial goes on. Cruelty-free chapstick is here. Hi, y'all. Pinky's short, fat, and balding, ginger-headed Virgo male. I can report that from across the pond, we have heard Bingo Jim and his 2-ball rotundery barrel shout house. I'll allow it, says Bev. Thank you so much for your super chat from across the pond and for being here. Trips and Drabs loves it here. Thank you so much for your super chat. Sandra's here from Canada. I love your channel, Larry Foreman, and you were amazing. I'm excited for the trial to begin. I am 10,000% Karen will walk away a free woman, as she should be. I don't know what's going to happen. I wish I could predict the future. Thank you, Sandra M. Thank you so very much for your super chat and for watching from Canada. And Boss Baby Breenan is here. Formerly Elizabeth Mullins, Lucas Lady, has gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much, Elizabeth. I appreciate you always. Nothing to see here says, from how Hank Brennan has done so far, I'm feeling he will do worse during trial just by not knowing the case, and the defense will smash his cross and direct. Well, tell me this. How do you think he's going to play in front of a jury? How do you think a jury is going to respond to him? That's an interesting question too. New Hampshire dude is here. Always come to you for a sanity check for all things free Gary. Thank you. I'm not insane. You're insane. We're all insane. We're being gaslit. We're being gaslit at the highest and most repetitive level. So it's my pleasure. It's absolutely my pleasure. My pleasure. There's Kimberly from the Sunflower State. Thank you for your super sticker. My nurse Kel. Thanks for your super chat. While the officer was ridiculing the Commonwealth, it ended by saying the matter is still under investigation, all during the reveal of the audit. Right. I'm on StreamYard, and whatever emoji you have before that, I can't read. So I'm sorry if I didn't read that properly. Hang on a second. Let me see if I can see it on my phone. No. It ended by saying the matter is still under investigation, all during the real. It doesn't have that on there. But anyway, thank you so very much. My name's Cal for your super chat. Enjoying your content, says Patty. Thank you, Patty. Carla Free Karen Reed loves the channel. Oh, thank you so very much, Carla. Fire on Acid says, why would Steve Scanlon take the stand if he recanted his statement? Isn't David going to say, yeah, you did at my office on this date? I don't get it. Well, he's on the witness list. We don't know if he's going to take the stand. We don't know what conversations have taken place behind the scenes. We don't know. So I can't really answer that question other than to say, you're going to have to watch the trial with me so we can find out together. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, right? Hang on. Okay. Orphan Methodology became a member. Thank you, Orphan Methodology. It's lovely to see you. Tiny Dragon says Brennan can't seem to talk without sounding condescending. I can't imagine that will go over well coming from the prosecution side. I guess it depends on you know, whether you think that Karen Reed is guilty and should be stoned to death before they hang her in town square, or whether you think that she's being railroaded, right? Whether or not you're gonna like him, I don't know. I don't know. I agree with you, and you guys are the mirror jury, so let me know what you think. Can Karen's team say that they believe in her so much they're working for free? No, that's not proper evidence to come in at a trial. But thanks, Mary. That's a good question. Ipsy dipshit. Inspiration moved me brightly. Yeah, it's always a fun time for a Grateful Dead quote. And yes, inspiration moved me brightly. Andrea Burkhart and I were there the weekend that the Dead and Company played that at the Sphere, and it was amazing. We saw full-on Terrapin. Gwen says, your patience is a virtue. Thank you. Hey, Will. Hey, Will. Are you still in Massachusetts? Or are you home? Hey, Will is here. Is there a GoFundMe for Proctor? I don't think so. I don't think so. Jump Road Stairs. Why do you want to start one? That reminds me that the link to Karen Reed's Defense Fund is in the show notes below this video. So if you feel that you have $5 to donate and you want to give up your Starbucks coffee is now up to like $7, by the way. Every dollar raised in the Karen Reed Defense Fund is going straight to the experts because her team has indicated that they are not going to be paid this time because they believe so fiercely in her innocence. She's $5 million in debt for legal fees, and they have said publicly that they're not going to collect from her. Oh, you are in Massachusetts still, Will? Ain't nothing going on here. We're about to break for lunch. I'll know more then. So boring, right? So boring because you can't even hear what's going on. Everybody's at sidebar. Will, Scott has your coat. I don't know what that means. He lost his coat. You guys know more than I do. Yeah. I was at the manicure place yesterday. I got my nails done, and I usually get chrome, and because I usually have like a chrome. And she said, "Oh, I have something for you. I have something for you. It's chrome. It's chrome. It's new. It's blue." I said, "Okay." And then she did like a cool little thing on my little. I don't know if you could see that. It's like little pearls and a little coral thing. It's cute. Oh, it's cute. I was like, "Oh, that's fun." You didn't miss anything, Mrs. K. You just missed that they're still looking for 2 more alternate jurors. So we didn't even cover the live court. We've been covering motions and other things. We covered Mr. Reed's statement from TV yesterday. And he said, "Come at me. Come at me." And we loved it. We loved every second of it. And then we looked at, we are feeling like we are in the land of the lost. And so this photo represents what so many of us are feeling every day that we come to cover this case. And let's just show it again for posterity. Because if you know, you know. Wait a minute. Oops. No. It just cracks me up every time I look at it. It's Shaka from Land of the Lost because we're in the land of the lost and we all feel like that guy. And actually, there was an actual actor who's credited in IMDb for playing the role of Shaka. I mean, we might as well give him like a shout out, right? I mean, let me tell you who the actor is. His name is Philip Paley, Paley. And this was the episode entitled "The Possession." I guess Shaka got possessed during one episode. You met him? Some golf girl, you met him? That's hilarious. I mean, would you even recognize him in a two-man lineup? I mean, the only time we ever saw him was with that makeup on and that whole costume and the getup and the prosthetics. And if you're some golf girl, how'd you feel about Rory winning the green jacket on Sunday? Couldn't believe he choked on the last hole and they had to go to a playoff, but it was exciting to see. And he broke down and he wept. He wept. And his little girl was there. It was nice. It was nice to see. Although I would have been happy with Justin Rose winning just as well. I have no affinity for Rory, although it was nice. And that was his Grand Slam, right? Yeah. Yeah. It was cool. I know. It was awesome. Yep. It was great. It was a good Sunday. All right. Moving on. We'll have to keep Shaka up here just in case we need him again to remind us that we're not the crazy ones. We're not crazy. It's the toughest ticket in sports, isn't it? The Masters? Somebody said my in-laws got tickets to the Masters on Sunday. I was jealous. Yeah, that's a bucket list thing for me. I've been to the U.S. Open several times because it's been on Long Island a bunch. It's been at Bethpage a couple times, and so I've been to the U.S. Open, but never been to Augusta, and that is a bucket list thing for me as well. Blues 42 Bang says, I can't believe how far away that buffer zone is actually seeing it. Oh, yeah? Nothing to see here says, I think he'll play horrible, meaning Brennan in front of a jury. At least they won't fall asleep like Lally is questioning. Can't wait for my T-shirts and sweatshirt. Oh, awesome. I'm glad to see that you ordered some merch. It strains credulity. All right, let's see. What do we have? What else do we have here? All right, let's go to 667. But first, the Law Lioness says, love you. Did you get my poem I emailed for you? Yes, I did. Thank you so much. It's a lovely poem. That is so very sweet of you to write a poem for me. I just can't respond to all emails because I had like 700 yesterday or whenever you sent it within the past couple of days. But I will write you back and say thank you, or I will just thank you now. Thank you, Law Lioness, for the poem. You're a sweetheart. Kathy Oliveira is here, and she became a member. Welcome, Kathy. I think you're going to like it here. Richard Arnold says, don't know about y'all, but I'm starting to think this Karen Reed lady might be innocent. Well, Richard, if this is your first go at this trial, welcome. You might have found your people. Thank you so much for your super chat. Nothing to see here says 2 songs, Suspicious Minds and What's Up by 4 Non-Blondes. Are you new here? And Mange 1967, because the playlist is also linked below in the show notes. The Karen Reed trial playlist. We have that from the first trial by popular demand. And both of those are already on the playlist, sir. Hang on a second. Sir or ma'am, I don't know. I can't see your profile picture. Wait, hang on. I can't see. But let me just tell you that they are both already on the playlist, I think. Hang on. But I'm pretty sure because we've talked about those songs many, many, many times. Look how many songs we're up to. We're up to, I think, over 100. recent Tub Thumpin' is a recent addition by Chumbawamba. I get knocked down, but I get up again. My Paragon by Floor Jansen. Hey, na 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 na. Hey, hey, goodbye. I forgot. I can't believe that was never on the list by the Supremes when the Saints go marching in. Because if you follow me on Instagram, you know that when Karen's team came marching in during that ex parte hearing in front of Sisitsky, I set it to that song, When the Saints Go Marching In. Land of Confusion by Disturbed, the Disturbed version, because we already had the Genesis version on there. Don't Stand So Close to Me by The Police, Fight Song, Rachel Platt and Wrecking Ball, Miley Cyrus. She's Already Made Up Her Mind by Lyle Lovett. That's a great one. Renegade by Styx, Stuck in a Moment. You Can't Get Out of It by U2. And then we have Please Don't Go on there by Casey and the Sunshine Band. Because one day I was signing off and somebody put that in the chat. And I was like, I don't remember that song. And they're like, of course you do. And I'm like, no, I don't. But then I put it on. And I do. Of course. Who doesn't remember that? So if you so desire and you are a Spotify user, go and get yourself the Karen Reed trial playlist below. It has 438 saves, and it doesn't say how many songs are on it. I don't know where it would say that, but whatevs. Liz Tar says, how about the audit company that called out the Canton police audit? I don't have those documents in front of me, Liz. So I can't really talk about that right now because I have some other things to get to, but it is interesting for those. And I haven't really dug that deeply into it. Something about a white paper. I don't know. I haven't really had the opportunity. My time is limited. As a mother of 5 and running a house and things that I need to do. But I love when you guys give me homework and you're like, send me emails. No, I don't really love this. Hey, can you get this to the defense team? You need to get this. You need to get this to the defense team. No, I don't. No, I don't. Number one, I'm not part of the defense team. I do not have a direct line to the defense team, and I am not your secretary. Hey, can you send this to Will the Glairer? No, I can't. I can't do that. No, I can't. Hey, can you go to California and buy yourself a plane ticket to California? And then can you pick up my 5-year-old son and buy him a plane ticket? And then can you both come to South America? And then can you meet me there? And then can you, I'll give you 10 acres of land. No, I can't do that either. And Code Orange, if you're in the chat. We have a playlist, yes, in the show notes below. It is in the show notes below. And I was voted in by chat to be your secretary. I know, Dark Beholder. I know. It's as if I don't do enough. As if I don't do enough. It's crazy. It's crazy. Literally, you need to get this to the defense team. You have to watch this, like in bold, all caps letters in your RE. Like, okay, no. Unpaid. Yes, unpaid also. Take a letter, Maria. Take a letter, Maria. Thank you, Green Eyes Other Girl. City Confusion or Back to Front by the Kinks. All right. I love the Kinks. Love the Kinks. All right, let's go. We have more documents. We got to get the papers. We got to get through the papers. Hang on. Because we have some things that I need your help with. So one of them. Well, first, let's go here. This was filed yesterday as well. This is the docket number 667. Docket number 667. This is now it's going to be hiding over here on my second screen. All right, there we go. So come to South Carolina. No, sorry. I can't come to South Carolina. I can't bring your grandchildren there. Who knows if they're even really your children, your grandchildren? I don't know. It's a good one. The white paper is from the company that wouldn't do the audit. Because it wasn't possible to, given the restraints. It is a reaction to the audit. Yeah, I've seen dribs and drabs of it somewhere, but I don't know. There's 7,000 of you here. How many likes do we have? Hang on. Let's say if we're doing a little better. We got 3,000 likes. We got to break at least 50%. I mean, at least. So everyone talk amongst yourselves while I spray my throat. Talk amongst yourselves and hit the like button so I can get rid of my vocal fry. Give me a sec. All righty. Okay. This is docket number 667. This was filed yesterday. This is the Commonwealth's notice of intention to introduce extrajudicial statements of the defendant. God save the Commonwealth. Now comes the Commonwealth in the above captioned matter and indicates its intention to introduce relevant statements of the defendant either without a witness or through a non-percipient witness reader. Under Massachusetts law, statements of a party opponent are admissible in evidence to prove the truth of the matters admitted in them. See Massachusetts Rule of Evidence 801D2. Hold on. Okay. 801D2. Citing Commonwealth versus Lesty from 2007, any extrajudicial statements by party may be admitted in evidence against him by opponent and will not be excluded on the ground that it constitutes hearsay. Yeah, it's a recognized hearsay exception. I'll agree with that. And Commonwealth v. Kozubal, 2021, the hearsay exemption of the party opponent encompasses any extrajudicial statement made by a party opponent, not just statements that are inculpatory or against the party's interest. To admit a statement of a party opponent, there is no requirement that a foundation be laid, nor a witness that has personal knowledge of the subject. Yeah, I don't know about that. And I honestly, to be honest with you, I did not have time to do the research on this, but off the top of my head, I disagree that you don't need to lay a foundation. And so, given that Hank Brennan has said a lot of things that we know to be untrue and cited a lot of case law that is not controlling in subjects, I don't know so much about this. If there's any Massachusetts attorneys in the chat, and I am speaking to Massachusetts attorneys, not people who got their law degrees from Twitter, knows that this is like real, that in Massachusetts you don't need to lay a foundation or authenticate any statements by the defendant who's not going to testify. I don't know. My gut says no, but who knows? It's the land of the lost, and we're just all chaka. Text messages, they cite Kozubal, which says text messages sent from the defendant to the victim were admissible under the hearsay exception for a party opponent's statements and properly admitted to provide important context for the defendant's text messages. Yeah, well, they had text messages in the last trial between Karen and Higgins, for example, but Higgins was there to authenticate them, right? So I don't know that you can just play. I guess Gretchen Voss's recordings are coming in. I guess they've agreed to it without her authenticating them, but all right, so that's about text messages. And then Commonwealth v. Barnett, text message to defendant properly admitted to provide necessary context to defendant's admissible statement. Well, wait a second. Are they going to try and admit text messages between Karen and Higgins without bringing Higgins in? Is this a sign? Because both of the cases that they cite have to do with text messages. And are they not going to call Higgins? Interesting, right? No authentication and no metadata, because there is no metadata necessary in the courtroom of Kim Jong-un. Maybe a confrontation clause issue. That's what I'm thinking, Maloney's Law. That's what I'm thinking. And we have another motion on point with that, which is the motion to substitute a witness for the other witness test chart from Bodie Labs. So that may be a confrontation clause issue. And so we will talk about that when we get to it shortly. Right. And it is fair to the Commonwealth if they just lie and make stuff up. I will agree with that. Dark Beholder. And here's Clerk Jim Clown's list. It says, how could we know he was on the phone? Maybe he was just waving it in the air around his ear. Right. Right. Look, Proctor's missing pension. What am I telling you? What am I telling you about these screen names here? You guys are the snark tank and you've earned it. You've earned every ounce of it. You keep me so happy, and that's why you're my cupcakes. Even though you have this sign, being a mother of five, that says, you can't make everyone happy. You are not a cupcake. It's my daily mantra. If you know, you know. All right. Moving on. The defendant has made numerous statements to witnesses, first responders, medical providers, family members, and journalists, as well as recorded statements on John O'Keefe's cell phone. These statements range from the defendant's immediate impressions and state of mind in the minutes and hours surrounding John O'Keefe's death to crafted narrations, sometimes in the presence of counsel, that recount for the defendant's version or impressions of events months and years after the murder. All of these statements are ones of the opposing party made by the defendant and therefore admissible. The Commonwealth thereby provides this honorable court notice of its intention to introduce statements of the defendant and can provide the court copies in advance for any preliminary findings of fact that it was the defendant who made the statements. Okay. Yeah, what the hell with this motion? Thank you, Ashley. That's exactly what I'm thinking. Okay. Perhaps you should have provided the exact statements that you're talking about with your motion, where you're just saying you can provide the court copies in advance upon request. So now you're putting the onus on the judge to ask you for. I can't wait to see the defense opposition to this because that'll be fun. The Commonwealth also moves to provide notice. Does that make sense? And that it intends to introduce the defendant's own statements without a witness or in some circumstances through a non-percipient witness reader. I mean, is this your first crack at motion drafting? I can't with this. I can't. XOXO, Michael Marcy, bye, Hank Breenan. Especially appointed ADA, Adam Lally, Laura McLaughlin. This is dated yesterday. Oh, don't put the giveaway thing in yet because I didn't even start the running yet. Hang on a second. But hold on a sec, if you will. Okay, we're gonna do a giveaway. We're gonna do a giveaway for some merch. It's gonna be at the end of the stream, so you're gonna have to stay until the end of the stream. You're also going to have to be willing to email me today with your address where to send the merch to. And if you enter more than once, for some reason, the StreamYard giveaway tool will exclude you from winning. So you can't win if you enter more than once. So what you need to do to enter is just put hashtag FKR in the chat. Hashtag FKR. And at the end, we will draw a winner. Oh, it's your birthday. It's Teeny's birthday. Happy birthday, Teeny415. Happy birthday. That's awesome. No, you can't. No, you hashtag FKR will enter you in any and all drawings, but only put it in there once. Don't put it in there more than once. I don't know why it's hiding some of these. I don't know why it's doing that. Because it doesn't allow. That's weird. Oops. It says they're potentially, I don't know. Mods, if you see them and they're being held for review and it actually says hashtag FKR, then just you can allow it. Okay. All right. Happy birthday to Teeny. Non-percipient witness reader is someone who gets on the stand pretending to be Karen Read and reading. For example, if it was text messages, they would have somebody reading Higgins' part and have somebody reading Karen's part. And so because they don't delineate exactly what it is that they're referring to, it's hard for me to even opine on this because it is so broad that I don't even know what to say about this. But, usually statements by a party, especially statements against interest, are admissible and an exception to the hearsay rule. However, they are pointing to Massachusetts Rule of Evidence 801D2. Let me just take a quick look at that. D. 801D is statements that are not hearsay. A statement that meets the following conditions is not hearsay. 2, an opposing party statement. The statement is offered against an opposing party and, well, let me pull this up because I know you guys like receipts and, it's good to look at it while I'm reading it to you so we can all read it together. But first, we got to take this one down. Put this one up. This is the Massachusetts Rules of Evidence, and this is the hearsay provision. Statements that are not hearsay. This is 801D2. A statement that meets the following conditions is not hearsay. 1, a declarant witnesses prior statement. The declarant testifies and is subject to cross-examination about a prior statement and 801D2, sorry. This is in case she doesn't testify. An opposing party's statement is offered against an opposing party and A, was made by the party. B, is when the party manifested that it adopted or believed it to be true. C, was made by a person whom the party authorized to make a statement on the subject or who was authorized to make true statements on the party's behalf concerning the subject matter. D, was made by the party's agent or employee on a matter within the scope of that relationship and while it existed. Or E, was made by the party's co-conspirator or joint venture during the cooperative effort. And further, well, there's no co-conspiracy here, so that does not apply. But I would have to actually read the case law to decide whether or not I think they're entitled to this, and I have not had a chance to do that yet. So let's put a pin in that one for later, shall we? Thank you. I still think, yeah, it could be an exception to the hearsay rule, but I still think they're going to have to lay a foundation for it. He doesn't seem to think they have to, but, we're in Massachusetts, so who the hell knows at this point, right? Okay, we went over that one. Nothing to see here says it's Michelle, and I haven't been able to see all the songs. I will now. Yeah, it's in the. It's in the show notes below. It's a Spotify playlist. And thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Michelle. And now I know. Squirrel, thank you for your super chat, super sticker. And Helena says, I hate to say I told you so by the Hives. Okay, I'll take that under advisement. Kiki Marie became a member. Welcome. The Liars Club by Coheed and Cambria. I will take that under advisement as well. Thank you, Alexis, for your super chat. Kiki Marie, is there no higher level oversight that can see how biased Bev is and not intervene without an interlocutory appeal? No, there's not. There's nothing. They made a motion to have her recuse herself. She denied it during the first persecution, and no, there's nothing. Judges have wide judicial discretion. She's the gatekeeper. She gets to decide, and so sadly, the answer is no. Canadian Gunner is here. Thanks for tuning in from Canada. Hank the possum, weasels eat vermin. Hank is vermin. Thank you for your super chat and your thoughts. Giraffe 3, baby lover. My husband wants to know what would happen if Proctor is pissed about losing his job over Alberts and let it all spill. Exactly what happened. Well, that would be some must-see TV that day now, wouldn't it? And if he was going to spill, don't you think he would spill and make some sort of deal ahead of time? I don't know. Especially if he could be complicit in any sort of cover-up. I don't know. But if he gets on the stand and says that, yeah, I mean, it could blow the whole case wide open. And it will be must-see TV. So we don't know if he knows anything. But we don't even know what really happened, right? But what I do know is that John O'Keefe was not hit by a car, and a car did not hit John O'Keefe, and that is based on injuries in physics. And so something else must have happened. We just don't know what it is, right? And unless someone knows and comes forward, will there ever be justice for John O'Keefe? Sadly, I think the answer is no. Sarah B. Creative, I'm in Maine on vacation, just here to say I love you. Oh, I love you back, and I hope you have a wonderful vacation. Casey, Change is on the Rise by A.V. Kaplan. Thank you for another great suggestion for the song playlist. All right. Just a reminder that if you want to be entered in the giveaway and you have not yet put it in the chat yet, you can put hashtag FKR in the chat. And we will, at the end of the stream, draw a winner. All right, so we went over that was docket number 667. Now we have docket number 668 because guess what, you guys? Guess what? The Commonwealth is still turning over discovery. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. If you know anything about the musical Chicago, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Despite the fact that the Commonwealth has allegedly filed their certificate of compliance yesterday, the 14th of April, they turned over a whole nother boatload of discovery. It is docket number 668. And it is called the Commonwealth's Notice of Discovery number 64. Number 64. And here it is. Docket number 668, Commonwealth's Notice of Discovery 64, because it's just like the gift that keeps on giving. More discovery. More discovery. Yeah, the trial was supposed to start. Openings were maybe going to be today, but they're not because, still not done picking. Still don't have the proper number of jurors that they want, which is 18. As of yesterday, they had 16, but today they're back in there trying to get 2 more. And they've already been through something like 591 potential jurors, and they only have 16, 8 women and 8 men. And so here we go with the Commonwealth's Notice of Discovery number 64. And I'm going to just ask you in advance if anybody knows what happened on April 6th of 2025 that would have generated a Massachusetts State Police Report number 115, 2 pages on April 6th of 2025. Does anybody know what that could be? I mean, I just want to give you a little spoiler because I don't know what that is, and maybe some of you guys with some boots on the ground there know what it is. But here's proof, more proof, as if you needed more proof, that Hank Breenan's secretary, if you didn't already know when she called him Hank Breenan in one of his cut and paste motions and put the wrong caption on the thing and called it something else, if you didn't already know that his paralegal hates him, you might know now, because here's more proof. Now comes the Commonwealth in the above captioned matter and indicates that of this date, the following discovery and materials have been provided to the defendant through defense counsel. Number 1, copy of Canton Audit Report 206 pages dated April 2025. April, A-P-I-L. April. Well, considering the guy says supposedly in open court regularly, supposedly it's April of 2025, which was previously provided by email on April 6th of 2024. So a year ago, they emailed the defense team with an audit report that was not generated until April of 2025. So, right there, that's a typo. Obviously, they provided it by email on April 6th of 2025, but we should not have to interpret hieroglyphics in a notice of discovery in which the world is looking at. Okay? I mean, really, supposedly. Copy of number 2 is copy of updated CV of Shannon Burgess, 7 pages, which was previously provided by email on April 6th of 2024. You mean before the first trial? Because I don't think that Shannon Burgess was on your witness list before the first trial. And so, again, we have to twist ourselves into a pretzel to try and figure out that perhaps he really meant April 6th of 2025. Allegedly, supposedly, what had happened was, Team Brittany, what had happened was we're going back into the past. We're still a year behind. Number 3, copy of transcript of Janet and William Reed interview, Body in the Snow, 88 pages, including word index, dated 6/6/24. Copy of number 4, copy of transcript of defendant's interview, Body in the Snow, 147 pages, including word index, dated 6/22/24. Yeah, Q says exactly what I'm thinking. If I were a judge, I think I'd correct counsel's pronunciation and grammar. I'd be so annoying. Like, right, Mr. Alisi, Mr. Alisi, Mr. Alisi. It's Back to the Future. It's exactly right, Cindy. Hang on. Norfolk County taxpayers, this is what your $250,000 is going to. An attorney who says supposedly April takes us back to the future with 2024. And oh, yeah, also, Norfolk County taxpayers, you're also paying for Hank's paralegal because she's on staff now, too. Number 5, copy of Keeper of Records for NBC Universal Dateline episode, The Night of the Nor'easter, 2 pages. I don't even know what that means. Copy of Keeper of Records, like it's a photocopy of a person's face, because the Keeper of Records is a person. Copy of Keeper of Records for NBC Universal Dateline episode, 2 pages. Anybody want to help me try and figure out what this means? Because then number 6 is the copy of Keeper of Records of Unsolved Productions, A Body in the Snow, which is also 3 pages. And then number 7 is a copy of Keeper of Records of ABC, 1 page. I don't know. Is it a copy of a person? Did they put their face on the copy machine? VK source says, I can't decipher negligence. Berlin is here. Hi, latent talent. Front to Berlin. Right. A Xerox of someone's face, Mr. Crosby's orphan methodology. I mean, is this number 8, copy of updated expert contract and payments? That is 6 pages. Which expert? It'd be nice if you would tell us which expert you're referring to, but no. Copy of the curriculum vitae of Carl Miyasako, which is 4 pages. We're going to talk about Carl Miyasako in a second. He's from Bodhi Bodhi Labs. Lucid Fair, or Lucy Fair, is laughing by herself in the car. Okay, moving on to number 10, copy of MSP report number 115, including notes, 2 pages, dated 4/6/25. Does anybody know what that's about? Well, a Bates stamp is what they should have been doing. From the very beginning, it is the way discovery is numbered, and it is called Bates stamp, but he had been calling it Bait stamp, and here he calls it Bait stamp again because his paralegal hates him. Does anybody know what happened on April 6th of 2025 that would generate an MSP report that is 2 pages long? Yeah, including notes. They have notes, right? Right, KDB. I don't know. Cruelty Free Chapstick is back with another super chat and says, oh, and Sarah Berry says April 6th of 2025 was a Sunday. Okay. Oh, wait, was that the day that Aiden Carney may or may not have intimidated the window? No, because that was not after jury selection started, and jury selection started on April 1st, right? So it's the report that Colin filed, but I don't know about that because I went back and I looked at mass accountability, and they said that that happened like on March 18th. And it was last Sunday, so I don't know. No, I don't think it was that report because I think that body cam footage was like from March, because I watched that mass accountability stuff. So, I don't know. If anybody knows for sure, well, we're not going to know because we can't see a copy of it. Maybe it's the video footage after the fact, chain of custody. I don't know. It makes my brain hurt too. But anyway, Cruelty Free Chapstick says, Snarkmeister royalty, Mark Twain. It takes your enemy and your friend working together to hurt you to the heart. The one to slander you, the other to get the news to you. Oh, that is so well done. Churchill once wrote, "Truth surrounded by a bodyguard of lies." Oh, thank you. Thank you for coming in with the deep cuts of the quotes and for your super chat. Elf, what are your thoughts on an outcome if a bench trial? Well, we watched a bench trial. The trial of Penny McGee was a bench trial in front of Judge Cannoni, and she was acquitted on some really bogus charges. But I think that Judge Beverly Cannoni has shown her disdain and hatred for Karen Reed and her defense team throughout the course of this persecution. And so I do not think that in the case of this particular judge, a bench trial would be successful. I think that any other judge would have absolutely 100% common sense to know that not only was this a hugely bungled investigation, that there's no way in hell that you cannot find a reasonable doubt here. But in fact, John O'Keefe was not hit by a car and a car did not hit John O'Keefe, in which case we all go home. Thank you, Elf, for asking. Gail Taylor, I'm fuming that the Commonwealth can still drop discovery after all this time. Judge should drag them over the coals. No, she won't. She won't. Thank you, Gail, from tuning in from across the pond because the world is watching. Cannoni's baloney is here, a.k.a. Jadzia. They won't be photocopying faces if it's anything like the phone calls that supposedly weren't made. Nothing to see here. Michelle comes in again. How can he still be writing motions when the trial is to start? They all seem like a pile of hodgepodge. What a Stugats. What a Stugats. Can't help. My brain is mush now. Yeah, motions could be, okay, maybe, but like still turning over discovery like this, which is next. Copy of Ian Whiffin's PowerPoint, which is 53 pages. Didn't they already, was Ian Whiffen the one that they already tried to whittle down the PowerPoint of, and it was something like 140 pages and now it's 53 pages? I don't know. And then they have a copy of Ian Whiffin's video. So Ian Whiffen also has a video. Then they have Ian Whiffen is the Celebrite guy, the guy who's like a customer service rep at Celebrite who invented a program called, what's the program that Ian Whiffen invented? You guys know the name of it. And he came in during the first trial and his entire testimony was like an infomercial for his own Artex. Thank you, Hannah. Artex. Oh, that was Welcher's PowerPoint. Thanks, Lottie's mom. Yes, Hannah reminded me. His company's name is Artex, and he is a customer service rep, or he's like the troubleshooter guy. Like when you have problems with your Celebrite, you call him and he answers the phone and helps you troubleshoot. He testified. He's from Canada. He testified at the first trial. His entire testimony was one big long infomercial for Artex or Artec or whatever the name of his software. He has like 60 worldwide users or something. And he's the guy who's going to testify that Celebrite was wrong. It was wrong. In fact, he's going to testify that the reason that Celebrite changed their program is because of this trial and Jennifer McCabe's 227 search. And it's going to say that 227 did not occur at 227 Hosslong to Dying Cold. But we know there's a couple of other witnesses who are also going to say that it absolutely does. It did happen at 227. So it's going to be death by PowerPoint. Exactly. Death by PowerPoint. ET1 CVB 41. For those people who say, I only talk to people who pay me money. That is ridiculous. If you guys make me laugh in the chat, I always put your comments up if I see them. So go scratch. And then, of course, there's a copy of Ian Whiffin's report, which is 3 pages. What is this, a new report and a new PowerPoint by Ian Whiffen? And did you get special permission from this judge, like a dispensation from the Pope with which to, get your permission for your PowerPoints and your chalks and your exhibits? Because she doesn't like them. She doesn't like them in her courtroom. Who, if anyone, is running the PowerPoint? Well, Craig is in the building. Craig Bates, who is the tiny table man from last time. Tiny Desk Craig was on my show once. Love Craig. I don't know if he's going to be here for the trial, but I hope that he is, because a trial without Craig is just like, it's going to make me very, very, very sad if he's not here. Tom Gillett's golf instruction, golf season, Melanie. What'd you think about Rory winning the Masters, Tom? I was talking about that earlier. It does. It's Tiffany blue. My nails kind of do match my walls. That was nice to see Rory win, right? I cried a little bit. I shed a tear. For him. Shed a tear for him when he missed that putt on 18 and had to go to the playoff. That was like a little cry, but So Ian Whiffen has, I guess, another report, a new report. Who knows what he's going to say this time, and what could possibly be in his video. I don't know. Is it an infomercial for Artec or Artex or whatever the hell it's called? It looks like there's nothing happening in the courtroom today, but I don't know. And then number 14, copy of video audio clips of interview statements, 41 files. Well, he doesn't specify what interview statements there are, but since we do know that there are no video or audio witness statements that were ever done during the investigation into the murder of John O'Keefe, we know it's not any witnesses. So it must be Karen's video and audio clips of things that she has said on documentaries, Dateline, Nightline, things such as like that. 41 files and clips. I'm assuming, but you should never assume, because as they said on The Old Odd Couple, it makes an ass out of you and me. So, it doesn't say interview statements. The only person who was interviewed by the Massachusetts State Police, by the way, on video or audio was Lucky Lochran, the plow driver. And that was how long after the murder of John O'Keefe, number one. And the 75% of that interview was about Turtle Boy. Right? So, there's that. Were there any other witnesses in this murder investigation that were videoed or audioed while being interviewed? I don't think so. I think it was only Brian Lucky Lochran, and it was August of 2023. Thank you, Christopher Carrera, for helping me. My brain only has so much information in it. Turtle Boy and the FBI. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy that he's dumping all of this on their laps now. This is a lot. They're in jury selection. This should have been turned over before the first, of course. Of course. But no. Rules for thee, but not for me. Yeah, one Bates stamp. First of all, it's Bates. I told you his paralegal hates him. Some of it says Bates, some of it says bait. Just remember Norman Bates, from Psycho, because that's what this is like. It's like being in Psycho. One Bates stamp for all 41 files. Wow. Because you know what? You just can't make it up. You just can't. You just can't. We're all in on the same joke. XOXO. This is dated April 12th. For the Commonwealth by Hank Breenan. And nobody else signed it. And it doesn't have Marcy's name at the top. And he doesn't even include his cohorts, colleagues, Adam Lally and Darla. Ms. McLaughlin. Because we have Spanky. Then we have Alfalfa. Because, shark hairdo. Baby shark with the gel and the bubble bath. That's Alfalfa. And then she must be Darla if we're going to make it a full-on Little Rascals episode, because isn't it just? What say you? Italics is a signature. Yeah, always. Of course it is. It's a script font. Don't you know? It's a script font. I know it's McLaughlin. Thank you, Letter Rose by Better. Because I have to almost choke on it. I think she's far more involved behind the scenes than we think. She might be the mastermind behind this whole entire thing. Because when she did speak up, remember, pre-first trial, it was the day that they were discussing in open court the federal TUI dump. 3,074 pages had been dumped on both sides by Josh Levy, who at the time was the acting U.S. attorney for the District of Massachusetts. And he said to both of them on a conference call, I cannot allow this case to go forward in good conscience. So I am going to give you all of these federal documents that we've uncovered. And the defense said, Your Honor, we need more time. We haven't had a chance to go over all of these documents. And Laura McLaughlin shot up out of her chair like a rocket ship. And she said, I have, Your Honor, I have. And none of it is exculpatory. And 95% of it is in alignment with the Commonwealth's theory of the case. Which, in case you haven't seen the new theory of the case that we went over yesterday, which, by the way, after we went over that, Wendy Murphy doubled down and said, this is the story that Hank Brennan is going to tell. She like actually said this is the story that Hank Brennan is going to tell, that John O'Keefe kicked the taillight. And that's what shattered it into 47 pieces. And then when he kicked the taillight, his sneaker came off and he had 2 glasses in his hand and he threw one at the, what? We'll look at it again because some of you might not have been here yesterday, and it's really, really good. It's really, really good. It's good. It's comedy gold. Do we know what somebody said? Rick said, do we know what Levy's replacement has said? Her name is Leah Foley. You guys, Leah Foley, Fahey, not Fahey, Foley. No, I don't think she said anything about anything yet. Oh, you guys haven't seen it? Oh, okay. All right. All right. By popular demand, I bring to you the new theory of the Commonwealth. I do not, as you know, wade on the cesspool of Twitter, but many of you do. And so this was brought to my attention. And you can't make it up. But then again, you can make it up because this is actually 100% probably made up, because if this is going to be a Brennan's theory of the case at trial, we're all going to laugh together because you can't. Okay. So here's the doubling down. Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Baby, let the games begin. Let the games begin. I. Are you ready? For those of you who don't know, Wendy Murphy is an attorney. Her username on Twitter is @WMurphyLaw. She has been very, very outspoken against the Duke lacrosse players, said some horrible, horrible things about them. That's where she gained her fame. She is also the mother of law student and self-accredited journalist Grant Smith Ellis. Here's what she tweeted. I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before. 3 pages and 8 simple points explain exactly how and why #Karen Read killed John O'Keefe. It's the story Brennan will tell and Read cannot refute. Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Yes, Brandy. Yes, Brandy, we have all of the Taylor Swift. And I love Taylor Swift, and nobody's allowed to denigrate Taylor Swift. And you know, the funny thing is, Brandy, is that I also adore John Mayer. And hilarious because I was at the Dead and Company shows in Vegas, like a couple of weeks ago. And they have an amazing like vending area at a hotel. It's called Shakedown Street. It's like everybody brings and sells stuff. And there was a t-shirt with John Mayer's picture on it. And it said, "But Daddy, I love him." And I thought that was so hilarious and just so appropriate. If you know, you know. Brandy, I think you will know. Team Brittany, I think you will know. All aboard Wendy's Crazy Train. Here we go. Here we go. All aboard. Irish Debs, here we go. Here's the step-by-step explanation. Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Well, first we have to go here, and then we have to go page by page. Okay, ready? Here you go. Step by step, what really happened when Karen Read killed John O'Keefe. And she says this is the story that Brennan is going to tell. So I'm glad it's out there so that we can refute it point by point. Number 1, Karen Read and John O'Keefe each left the bar with a cocktail. Okay, so now she left the bar with a cocktail too. They got into Karen Read's car and drove to 34 Fairview, but Karen Read didn't want to go to the party. They had a fight about it because John O'Keefe did not want to ask his buddies to drive him home. And apparently he doesn't know about Uber or calling a taxi. Yes, exactly. Choo-choo. Hollis is like, step-by-step case solved. And Snacks says, choo-choo. What grown man doesn't know about Uber? Number 2, when they pulled up, 34 Fairview was on the right passenger side. Okay, good. We got that. John O'Keefe got out with his cocktail glass in his right hand. He kept the door open and continued pressing her to come in. This, all in caps, is when a witness drove by and saw the interior light was on and only one person was in the car, driver's seat. Remember, that was Ricky D'Antuono and Ryan Nagel and Heather Maxson, who came to pick up Juliana Nagel, who by that time did not want to leave because she just wanted to hang out with Jen McCabe, apparently. John O'Keefe was standing outside the passenger door, cajoling Karen Reed to come in the house. 3. When Karen Reed again refused to go in, John O'Keefe grabbed her cocktail from the center console with his left hand to pressure her even more because he knew she was a drunk and would want her cocktail. He now had a glass in each hand. Oh, wait, because it gets better. Hang on. Hold, please, as we go on to the next page. How do we do that on Twitter? I don't know. 1 minute. Okay. Are you ready for chapter 2? Point number 4. Karen Reed persisted in her refusal and began slowly driving away to taunt him, all in capital letters, to get back in. As the back of her car passed where John O'Keefe was standing, he realized she was serious about leaving. So he kicked her taillight on the far right side where the red plastic was, and then threw her glass from his left hand at the back of her car, causing the small dent above the left side of the taillight. Number 5, it took Karen Reed a moment, 60 feet of driving, to realize what John O'Keefe had done. She became enraged, all in caps, that he not only took her drink, but also hit her car. So she floored it backwards, intending to scare/punish, not kill him. Well, Wendy, if this is the theory that Brennan's going to use, don't you think he's going to drop that second-degree murder charge? I don't know. John O'Keefe was bent over trying to get his shoe that fell off when he kicked her taillight. Okay, so his shoe fell off when he kicked her taillight. Anybody remember what sneaker it was that they found up against the curb? Which one, the left one or the right one? Because according to her, he kicked the taillight. Does she say what foot he kicked the taillight with? But I guess it would be his right foot if he's right. I don't know. John O'Keefe was bent over trying to get his shoe that fell off when he kicked her taillight. But his back was to the house. He saw Karen Reed speeding toward him and put out his right hand to block her. Oh, do you think that's what he would have done? If he saw her coming, you think he might have jumped out of the way? What do you think? I don't know. He put up the back of his hand, all in caps, because he was still holding his cocktail, which is why the back of the hand was badly bruised at autopsy. Well, I mean, I think she's got it all figured out, but you know what? She's not done yet. Hang on, because there's still a couple of more points that she wants to drive home, because she says, I don't know how she's privy to this, because even the usual suspects have not, I don't think, have put this theory out there, have they? Beetlejuice? Here we go. There's more. There's more, but wait, there's more. Well, the gag order doesn't apply to her. It only applies to the attorneys. Number 6, the impact slammed John O'Keefe's hand with the glass still in it into his face. Hence why Karen Reed pulled a shard of glass from John O'Keefe's face when she found him dead hours later. Well, if he was dead and she pulled a shard of glass out of his face, it wouldn't be bleeding because, dead. The already cracked taillight from John O'Keefe kicking it moments earlier. So I guess when he kicked the taillight, that's, what caused it to shatter. Scraped John O'Keefe's arm through his sweatshirt as Karen Reed's car swiped him and spun him to the ground. There's the pirouette where he slammed his head and passed out. We all know the rest. Do we, though? She left him to die, she says. Okay, so let me get this right. He kicked the taillight, shatters it into 47 pieces, throws the glass at the car. He backs into him, not on purpose. He doesn't jump out of the way, but he holds up his hand so it bruises his hand. And then it scrapes his arm through his sweatshirt. But the thing is, it only leaves tiny little puncture marks in his sweatshirt, right? We've seen them. They're puncture marks like a pin or a tooth would make. They're not like linear the same way the abrasions on the arm are. She says, this is why, this is my favorite part. This is why there are 2, all in capital letters, quote, crime scenes, 2 crime scenes. One where the taillight pieces were first broken because John O'Keefe kicked it, and the other where more pieces broke off when she hit him. That's two crime scenes. Not all the same place, like at 34 Fairview. I mean, I don't even know. This is also why there were 2 different types of cocktail glass at the scene. Well, actually, there were 4 different types of glass, and if you're paying attention, you would know because the defense team has asked if they can use a chart with regard to the 4 different sources of glass that were found at the scene. Kung Fu Fighting, I'll allow it. Thank you, Bev's bias beratements. Kung Fu Fighting will go on the playlist. One was his, one was hers. Karen Reed made a public statement declaring that she pulled a piece of glass from John O'Keefe's face when she, quote, found him because she was worried. The prosecutor found her DNA on a shard of glass at the scene. I don't think that she said she pulled a piece of glass out because she was worried that the prosecutor found her DNA on a shard of glass at the scene. I don't think they tested that glass for anything. Fingerprints, DNA, did they? This story is about an alcoholic, entitled, self-centered, wealthy white woman who is raised to believe she is better than the types of people who pay for their crimes. And that's, now she's making it racial. She's making it racial. And that, my friends, is what Wendy Murphy says is going to be Hank Brennan's new theory. Won't that be fun? Won't that be fun? Yeah. Can you believe that a sneaker could break a taillight? I mean, Tom's like, I think Grant got her password to her ex account and wrote this. I mean, could you, even if you wanted to make this up, could you? I don't know. I don't know that I could. I think, if you scripted this, I mean, nobody would believe it, right? No. Well, Christina Rex is tweeting. Her last tweet was 58 minutes ago. Half a jury's pool remains based on my observations. I don't believe anyone has been seated. And then Nikki, if you're here, asked, do you know how many strikes both sides has left? And she says, I don't. And then somebody said, I don't think either side has many strikes left. I don't know, because I remember on Friday, weren't they at something like maybe 10 and 11 peremptories left? Or they had used 10 and 11. I think that the Commonwealth had used more than the defense. So I am not quite sure, but that's as of 59 minutes ago. That's where we stand right now. Maybe they're at lunch. What time is it? Yeah, they like to go to lunch at 1. So I don't know. And here we sit. And Mark says, I hope he's going to say all that. Yeah, it's going to be fun. This is going to be must-see TV. I mean, it would be fun if Karen Reed wasn't facing life in prison on bogus charges. But do you think anybody's going to believe that theory of the case? Blame It on the Girls by Micah has been in my head, says Gray Space. I know. It's like songs get in my head too like that. I'll allow it. Beetlejuice Breenan says from Australia, I think we should send all the dementors still persecuting this retrial back to Azkaban via Bev's broomstick on a one-way ticket. Free Karen Reed. Stop this farce. I wish we could stop it. I wish we could. There's nothing that I would like more than to stop this farce. The best thing that we can do is keep talking about it and keep screaming about it so that people worldwide know what is going on in the upside down, inside out Narnia of Norfolk County. I was going to say New Hampshire because New Hampshire dude put a super chat up, but it is Massachusetts. It's still Massachusetts, and it's still frightening. And Karen Reed could be you, me, anybody. New Hampshire dude says 5,400 likes. Woo, woo. Oh, we're getting there. Smash that. Thank you so much, New Hampshire dude. Loudmouth says, my daughter's married last name is McLaughlin. I have to concentrate in order to say it with a straight face these days. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for doing that to your daughter. But I can't help it. Can't help it. I have to snark when I can. Pam McKinnon's been here for 2 months and is very, very, very happy about it. And so am I. Thanks, Loudmouth, for your super chat. Adjusted Robe Bev, your bias is showing, says, my take on Wendy's theory of the case, John turned into Chuck Norris, round kick the Lexus before the taillight bit John in self-defense. That's that. You know what? That is probably even a better theory than that one, because Laura says if John O'Keefe wasn't hit, you must have quit. If Chloe bit, you must have quit too, right, Laura? I mean, thank you for both of your super chats. And Double M99, thank you for the 20. Says, question, what, if any, were there any shoe boot scuff marks on the broken pieces on the recovered taillight fragments? No. No. But they were able to find some, I don't know, touch or transfer DNA of John O'Keefe's inside the housing on the taillight pieces. We have no idea. And I don't know. I just don't know. Oh, well, I don't know. The Glairer has posted on his Twitter, as of 1:47, a jury has been selected in the Karen Reed trial, and John DePietro still sucks. I don't know if that's accurate, and so I do not. But I mean, I think he's in the courtroom, right? He tweeted that 4 minutes ago, and so I guess will we allow it? Hang on. He also says that John DePietro reeks of baby cologne and self-loathing. It's actually kind of weird. So, I mean, I don't, thank you, Double M Double 9. Fire on Acid says this sounds like a Trooper Paul story. It does, but it's better. It does, but it's even better. It even adds a little bit more comedy to it. And so Ted posted, okay, well, I think Will had it first because Will was 4 minutes ago. So I'm going to give him the credit, but let's see what Ted Daniel has to say about it. Ted Daniel says, well, he said, judge calls for a 35-minute break so the remaining jury candidates can eat. It would appear at least one more juror has been selected so far today, but waiting for confirmation. That's what Ted Daniel said. Right? So we sit, we wait together. We sit, we wait. Thank you, Fire and Acid. Tracy Fagan is here. Does she think she was Superman? He was Superman and could stop a speeding car. I guess. I mean, did ChatGPT write that? I don't know. I don't know. So if they do finish picking today, are they going to start tomorrow? Are they going to start Thursday? Is she going to push it into next week? The risk that she runs by pushing it to next Tuesday because the court's off on Monday is that so many days are going to go by. They're going to lose jurors. I have a fear. I have a fear of losing jurors because every day they come in, it's like they lose another one that they've already seated and they got to kind of start all over. My nurse Cal, isn't it seen by all Jen tried to get Karen Reed to ride with her and John was going to go with Albert. Yeah, she did say, come with me. I have a surprise for you. And zero history of violence between Karen Reed and John O'Keefe. No bruise on his foot. He was beaten in Malta then, right? If he did kick that taillight, first of all, it wouldn't have broken, but he would have broken his foot. Don't you think? Yes. Thank you, my nurse Cal, because you're a nurse and you know too. Sherry McKay. Oh, okay. He kicked it when it's not moving and in the street. So all the plastic would be in a pile on the street, right? Well, there's two crime scenes now, apparently. Two crime scenes, both at 34 Fairview. I don't even know what to say anymore, you guys. I just don't. Alessi, a big brain to Free Karen Reed, says she probably believes channel number 5. Oh, Chanel number 5 comes out of a skunk's arse. Thank you. Thank you for tuning in from across the pond. Amanda, mother of cats, nerd at law, says thanks for making this shit show bearable. You're welcome. Pam McKinnon on replay. Hippity hoppity. Easter's on its way. Sending holiday wishes to everyone. Happy Easter. Happy Passover. Whatever it is that you're celebrating this week, including the Free Karen Reed. That theory alone is a free ride home for Karen. Thank you. Thank you, Michelle, for pointing that out. Caroline says, sending love from over the pond. Thank you. Isabella sending a super sticker from New Zealand, and she's watching. Dale, a cruelty-free chapstick for Karen Reed and her A team and B team of global supporters. As the Bee Gees sang, the lights all went out in Massachusetts. Might I remind us all that even in hell there is hope. Worlds full of bricks, punts, and souls. Thank you. Thank you so very much, cruelty-free chapstick. Elf says, how come the curtain twitchers didn't see anything, Wendy? Oh, that's a great point. Because the curtain twitchers, Matt and Jen McCabe, were looking out the door the entire time. Pull up behind me. Pull up behind me. I see you out there. What are you doing? Where are you? They were curtain twitching. Right. Great point, Elf. In fact, Jennifer McCabe was still texting, pull up behind me at 12:45 when Karen Reed was already home and connected to the One Meadows Wi-Fi at 12:36. So make that make sense. Auto Doctor 911, more convoluted theory equals more room for reasonable doubt. You're right. You're right. I'll allow it. Hi, Nathan. Thanks for the 20. With a .29 BAC and taillight at shoulder height, he did a jumping 180 roundhouse kick without shouting, "Hiya!" So no one else heard or saw him. Then he landed backwards and his arm got hit while doing a victory fist in the air, like one of these, right? Or the Canton salute. If you know, you know. Thanks, Nathan, for your 20. I know, right? He definitely, absolutely 100% would have been he would have just fallen over if he tried to do that with a .29 BAC, which was, by the way, in his vitreous fluid at autopsy. So it might have been higher at the time if we extrapolate it back. Apparently that extrapolation stuff is going to be allowed in according to some notation on the docket. So, there's that. Every day is a new day, folks. Every day is a new day. All right. So 5 minutes ago, they went for a 35-minute break. So we have a little bit of time. Vanny Annie is here, says, I love you. Been following since 1.0 rage cleaning in my garage here in Evergreen, Colorado. Oh, is it like 80 degrees today or is it snowing today? Because the other day it was 80, the UV was 9, and then it's supposed to snow, I think, by Friday, right? Colorado. Love my Colorado peeps. Sco buffs. Give me some buffs emojis in the chat. Yeah, it is sunny and 60 in Boulder today. 72, except by Friday, it will be 27 degrees and it's going to snow and with a high of 35. This is anyway in Boulder. And we used to say in Boulder, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. So love to all my Boulder friends. I may see you at some Buffs games this year. Prime has renewed his contract. And if you don't follow Coach Prime on Instagram, you should, because he's very, very, very inspiring. He's so inspiring. I love him. He's very nice to his players. All right, let's go to docket number 669, which is something we have not looked at yet. So docket number 669 is here somewhere underneath all my other things and stuff. And Shaka, what was his name? What was that person's name from Land of the Lost? Shaka? All right. 669. This was filed this morning at 8:45 in the AM. Again, if you're an attorney, your head might pop off and roll down the street with the way this is written, but it's the land of the lost, and we're all just living in it together at this point. Docket number 669, docket number 669. This is the Commonwealth's motion for notice. Okay, you picking up what I'm like? Motion for notice of any visual aids, potential exhibits, or potential chalks that will be displayed to the jury during opening statements. So it's a motion for notice of any aids. Do I have any attorneys here? Are your heads popping off? What? I'm sorry. What hieroglyphics? What if I'm not an attorney? My head still pops off because this gives me a headache. I know. Elise's nefarious incisors is here. Carol says, good thing I work remotely because I might be committed if others were around while I'm listening to this. Best chat ever. I know. Here it goes. The Commonwealth notifies the court that it intends to introduce recorded statements of the defendant in its opening statement and will produce a copy of the recorded statements to the court in advance of opening statements for a ruling on admissibility. Well, hey, mofo, if opening statements are tomorrow, what do you think we're doing here? Okay? There's conflicting reports about whether or not the jury has officially been picked. We don't know when openings are going to be, maybe tomorrow. But I'm sorry, what? How about you produce them now with your motion for notice? How about that? I mean, I don't understand what this means. The defense needs to draft their opening. Maybe it's already drafted. I would submit to you that it probably is already drafted. And now Now you're going to lay some knowledge on everyone that you plan to be playing these recorded statements in your opening, and maybe you'll let them know which one. What? Further, if allowed, the recordings should be marked for identification so a complete record is made of all items shown to jurors in the courtroom during the trial. So now you're going to tell the judge what to do. And additionally, the Commonwealth moves for an order that the defense identify in advance any visual aids, potential exhibits, or potential chalks the defendant intends to use during opening statement. So this is Commonwealth's motion for notice of any visual aids that will be displayed to the jury during opening statements. Okay, so that's the motion part. A motion is when you ask the court to rule on something. It's like an ask. So you're asking for an order that the defendant identify in advance any visual aids, potential exhibits, or potential chalks that they intend to use during their opening, but you're just giving notice that you intend to introduce a recorded statement of the defendant, but you're not going to tell them which one, and you're agreeing that you're going to give it to the judge to rule on. This should be two separate motions. Is anybody? Hank is such a rat. That's all that orphan methodology needs to say. Hank is such a rat. This was filed this morning at 8:45. I mean, will the court allow it? It's not evidence until it's admitted. And so what exactly is it that you say you do here, Mr. Brennan? Can anybody tell me what movie that's from? What exactly is it that you say you do here? I want to see who the first person in the chat is. If you get it, you're my spirit animal. What is it that you say you do here? Do, 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 do. Put a hashtag FKR in. Oh, see, Brittany, I knew you, Emma. I knew it. Office Space. Oh, wait, but you didn't get it first. Hang on. According to Woo, got it first. My spirit animals. Do you remember that Jennifer Aniston was in that movie and she was wearing all the flair because she worked at like a restaurant like that was kind of like Ruby Tuesdays or Bennigan's, and she had to wear all that flair, those buttons on her. That was such a great movie. Every single time I pass by it, because it's on TV like all the time, I will watch it. I will watch Office Space every single time I come upon it, just like I will watch Wedding Crashers every single time I come upon it, just like I will watch Meet the Fockers, Meet the Parents, because comedy gold, all of them. All of them. Michael says marked for identification. These are evidence. Why should they be marked? Well, for identification, because you're not supposed to. What you say in your opening is not evidence. It is what the evidence will show. And so therefore, are they allowed to play that in opening? I don't know. I don't know. We're in the land of the lost with Shaka. Hashtag FKR. If you'd like to be entered in the giveaway for merch, don't put it in there more than once. Otherwise you won't, it will exclude you because it is the StreamYard tool that we use here. And yes, thank you. Thanks, Brad. We just covered that. I don't know if your super chat came in before or after, but the Glare did say that a jury has been seated. However, they are all at lunch now. And the last thing I have from Ted Daniel, so I don't know that the judge has confirmed it yet. I don't know what that means, that they're at lunch as of 13 minutes ago on a 35-minute break so the remaining jury candidates can eat. And so he says it would appear at least one more juror has been selected so far today, but waiting for confirmation. And so I don't know. Does Will know something that Ted Daniel doesn't know, that the media has not been told? I don't know, but we're waiting for it. Thank you, Brad, for your super chat. And thanks, DJC Mission, for becoming a new member. And also, Blessed in Texas says backed up at the start of Aiden Motion. Appreciate you. No, I appreciate you more. You are blessed and you are in Texas, as far as I know. And Elf gifted another membership. Let us go over for some more comedy gold to hang on a second, because there's still a lunch until what? This was 13 minutes ago, so we have at least like 20 minutes. I wanted to show you something here. Let me see if I can find it for you. Okay. That is very funny, Romy. Romy, I saved something of yours. I don't know, Romy, if you're here, but I will let you know. Okay. Aiden Carney posted this, and so I'm going to show it to you and give him the credit for it because this is who Glare said smells like cheap cologne. His name's John DePetro. I don't know who he is. I think he's like a Rhode Island guy who's like in the courtroom during jury selection this week. And Aiden said, if I asked the same question to any of the McAlbers McKays, I'd be in jail within hours. And this is the guy, John DePetro, who says Karen Reed, final day of jury selection, was OJ framed. And he's very, very proud of this because he put it on Twitter. And here's the clip for those. I know many of you do not go on Twitter, so you wouldn't see this. So let me play it for you. Hang on. And just take a look at how all of the other people, all of the other media that are there, turn around to look at him. And it says here in yellow font, Karen said she cheered OJ, got away with it. Here's the clip.
Karen, was OJ framed?
That's him yelling
Was
at her.
OJ framed, Karen? Was there blood in the Bronco? What other killers are you supporting?
Right. What do you think? Do you think Aiden would have been arrested had he said that? Look at how this guy looks at him, this camera guy. And we're gonna play it one more time.
Karen, was OJ framed?
Hold on, let me zoom in on it a little bit.
Was OJ framed, Karen?
Wait a second. Oh no, I won't let me zoom in. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Was there blood in the Bronco? What other killers are you supporting?
Right. And did you go to Cancun with Melanie Little? Did you have fun in Cancun with Melanie Little? Yeah. Watch how they look at him. I mean, and then you know who tells him that was a great job? Julie Grant from Court TV. And look what she does. She shouts him out. She's like, great job, John DePetro. I think I saved that one too. Hold on, because somebody else sent me that one. Hang on. Hold on. Un momento. Yes, she replies to him, Julie Grant from Court TV, with her, and she gets roasted, by the way. She replies to him with her clappy hands emojis. Clappy hands emojis. What? She thinks that's excellent reporting? Okay. All right. Cool. Oh, no, that is DGM Pietro. This is somebody different. I don't know who this guy is. And I mean, if you're on Twitter, just go for the replies to Julie Grant. Hi, Julie, you're a C word. Kindly F yourself. Your voice gives me seizures. Aren't reporters supposed to ask great questions? Uncomfortable questions? Oh, that's what somebody else says in support of Julie Grant. But yeah, no, people are not happy with her. And it shows in the comments. So there's that. Jason says John's a creepy, runs around Rhode Island thinking he's the best reporter in the state. Such a clown. Yeah, because he tweeted something about me the other day. So that's why now I'm all over him like a cheap suit. He tweeted something about me. Let's see where that is, because you want to bring me into it. Oh, and then Jennifer Coffendorfer says, "Oh, Mel, trying to save face. It's too late." Oh yeah, we got it. I mean, let's look at this. We might as well, right? You guys saw my show that I did with Queen Kim, Nurse Kim, the other day? Yeah. So on April 12th, here's what he tweeted about me, this guy, this clown. Because, let's go there. If we're going to go there, let's play. You want to play? Let's play. Let's go. Look how quickly they've abandoned third-party culprit conspiracy of he was beaten inside the house. Now it's a car injury case. Well, yeah. It is a car injury case because if John O'Keefe wasn't hit by a car, Karen Reed is not guilty, right? So he tweets a clip from the show that I did with Kim, and if you saw it, you know. And then I don't know, somebody Elaine S, who's been trolling me since like I first started reporting on this case in January of 2024, says, "Can somebody help me make sense of what she's saying? I don't even think Kim knows, as you can see by her facial expressions." And then they clip me, and then Jennifer Coffendorfer replies, "Aw, Mel, trying to save face. It's too late." Yeah, that's fun. Isn't that fun? Supposedly. Yeah, that's what it is. I know. All right, so we have some time. So let's take some thoughts, questions, comments, and concerns. John is a reporter who has past beef with Aiden. That's all you need to know. Yeah, I guess so. Green Eyed Southern Girl's pissed. She's like, "I don't like someone doing that to you. I don't care. I think it's hilarious. I mean, I just think it's funny." Like Jennifer Coffendorfer has been trolling me also since she tried to, point out that no way that anyone without a medical degree could ever say that those are dog bites on John O'Keefe's right arm. When I was on Court TV twice with her in January of 2024. So it is. It's like high school all over again. It's so gross and so insane. On top, thank you for your super sticker. And Tiffany James, thank you for everything that you do by watching me. Otherwise, I'd be screaming into a closet here by myself. The rural juror here. I also asked this to Peter. What do you think the chances are that Jackson uses Brennan's "a lie unchecked becomes the truth" in his opening? Oh, I don't know. I don't know how it would factor into an opening statement because the evidence will show. I mean, I could see it more in closing than I could in opening because your opening has to be all about what the evidence will show. And so I don't know that it would. I don't know that it would fit there. But maybe in closing, whoever's doing the closing might be able to use it because the closing is more of an argument. So you might be able to make more of an argument on top. Thank you for your super sticker and your other super sticker. And we sit. We sit while the court watchers are at lunch to wait and see if indeed a jury has been completed, if selection is complete. I go there to make sure I'm going down the right path. If it's the opposite, I'm good. So many of her followers get it wrong in so many cases. I know. Does Trooper Paul have to redo his whole theory? I don't know. I mean, they have to call him, right? Because he's the one who did the original investigation. They kind of have to call him. So they can't get away without calling Trooper Paul. So yeah, is he going to have to reorchestrate his whole entire thing? I don't know. We wait. Last thing Christina Rex tweeted was over an hour ago. And so Ted Daniel is the one who's most on top of it. And he said that they're at break or lunch or 23 minutes ago, he said it's going to be a 35-minute break. So we're just still waiting. That's also Talking Head song. That's also on the Spotify playlist that is linked below in the show notes. So there's that. Let's check the docket and see if anything else came on the docket. Thank you, Lisa, for your Venmo. I appreciate you so very much. Oh, and thank you, Marjorie, for your Venmo. Says I love it here. Thank you, Melanie. No, thank you, Marjorie. And Stephanie, thank you very much for a generous Venmo. Says another day of this hellish persecution. Thanks for being you. Dirty Hanky on YouTube. Well done. Well done. Oh, thank you, Marjorie. Marjorie, you sent me 2 Venmos. I don't know if you know that, but you did. Thank you so very much. All right. Well, all right. We have a new motion from the defense, docket number 670. So let's look at that while we wait for them to come back from lunch. Okay, here we go. Look at this. See, we're right on top of things because things break and we have them. And here we go. There's only, okay, 3 pages, so we should be able to do this before they come back, and we got some more information about whether or not we have a jury, and if we do, when, if ever, openings are going to start, openings are going to happen. So I will keep Ted Daniel up over here. And we will look at 670 right here. It's defendant's motion, and notice that the defendant intends to display visual aids to the jury during opening statements. So we are going to get a little taste of what the defense is going to use in their opening. As soon as I move that over here, this over there. I'm really getting the hang of the streaming thing, you guys, hey? All right, here we go. This was just hit the docket, but moments ago. Well, at 10 a.m., but maybe it was just scanned in. I don't know. All righty, here we go. This is docket number 670. Docket number 670, defendant's motion, and notice that the defendant intends to display visual aids to the jury during opening statements. Let's get the red pen out. It also helps me find my place. Sometimes I just make a mark, so I lose my place all the time. Now comes the defendant, Karen Reed, and files defendant's motion, and notice that the defendant intends to display visual aids to the jury during opening statements and will produce a copy of the proposed exhibits to the court in advance of opening statements for a ruling on admissibility. Okay. Same thing Hank said. Further, if allowed, the exhibits should be marked for identification so a complete record is made of all items shown to the jurors in the courtroom during the trial. Additionally, the defendant moves for an order that the Commonwealth specifically identify any visual aids, potential exhibits, or potential chalks the Commonwealth intends to use during opening statements and produce these visual aids to the defense in advance of use during opening statement. But I think Brennan said it was an audio recording, right? He didn't say it was visual. And then XOXO, Elizabeth Little, Alan Jackson, David Yannetti. So it's not very, it doesn't tell us much. Doesn't tell us what it's going to be, but it's dated today. And that's all we got. That's all we got. So there it is. Docket number 670. We've done it. It's done. We did it. They're going to use some visual aids in their opening. They're going to give them to the court. Will she allow it? That's the question that remains. We don't know. We don't know if she'll allow it. We're waiting for them to come back from lunch to see when the openings are going to be, if indeed they have selected 2 alternate jurors to make their total 18. We're waiting patiently, but not really so patiently. Just Your Robes, Bev, your bias is showing, says, what does Spoffendorfer know about anything? She tweeted about how she finds Breenan's voice soothing. I threw up a little reading it. Oh, thank you for your super chat. And Norma F, does Bev have to approve or deny all motions before they can start? Yeah, I would think so. I would think they they don't really know what case they're trying until she rules on all the outstanding motions. I don't know how many there are. Just a couple. You can let me know in the chat which ones are still outstanding. Garrett Wing is still outstanding. The one about whether Aiden Carney can be in the courtroom is still outstanding. And Monch, thanks for another super chat, says, do Massachusetts judges have discretion to ask jurors questions before being let go? Yeah, I mean, she's the one doing most of the questioning. The attorneys are asking some questions, but she is the one. Oh, what do you mean? After she's already excused them? Or in order for them to be dismissed? She's got wide latitude here, so she can pretty much do whatever the hell she wants. But I don't really, if you're saying before she excuses them, yes. She can, if one side thinks they're biased or something and is trying to get them off for cause, she can ask questions. So the answer is yes. I don't know if you mean after they're excused, if she wants to talk to them. I don't know. J2S became a member. J2S Love. J2's Love. Thank you for becoming a member. And LJ is having to play in a song while we wait. No, I can't because I'll get stricken. I'll get copyright stricken, so I can't play a song. Sorry. Number one rule of YouTube, you can't play songs, copyrighted material. They will strike you like butt quick. In fact, the other day when I played the clip from Boston's Finest of Brian Albert boxing, I was stricken immediately. I had to cut it right out. That was a copyright strike. That was not because of music. It was because Boston's Finest doesn't want it out there without them collecting the revenue for it. So it wasn't really like a strike. It was just like they collect the money. Thank you for becoming a member. But music, 100% they strike you for. My nurse Kel, simple. Show medical photos of John O'Keefe and other dog attacks and car accident versus person and boxing. MMA versus a person. I don't think any of those photos would be admitted into evidence. So it's not as simple as you would think. They're more prejudicial than probative. And I just don't think that they would ever in a million years in this courtroom be allowed to show those. But you could have a witness testify about maybe. I mean, because even the medical examiner, when we went over her testimony again the other night, some of it anyway, she was asked, are these typical pedestrian, and there were certain things the judge would not allow her to answer. So, Kel, it sounds like a great idea in the medical world, but in the legal world, yeah, she won't allow that. Thanks, Elle, for gifting a membership once again. All right, let's do the giveaway while we're waiting. So hashtag FKR only once. If you put it in more than once, you will not be allowed to win. And this is going to be for your choice of merch. Let's take a look at the merch first before we do it. Let's take a look. Oh, I see something here. Is it 20% off today? Hang on. I mean, it says it's 20% off for 3 days. All right, unless this is like an old tab. Oh, cool. All right, so it's 20. Everything's 20% off. So if you want anything, I'm going to show it to you. This actually this shirt idea was, if you know, you know. I went to Cancun with Melanie Little. It's because one of the trolls that we were talking about before yelled to Alan Jackson, "Did you have fun in Cancun with Melanie Little?" Because one time I said that he had a bracelet on that looked like a bracelet that I got in Cancun when I went to see Dave Matthews. And so that became this like ridiculous Twitter rumor that I went to Cancun with Alan Jackson. And so make merch. Here's the coupon at the top, 20% off. So there it is. Redeem the coupon if you would like to get some merch today, because it says it's going to be for 3 days. Hang on one second. Let me just double check something. I want to make sure I'm not giving you bad information, because yeah, 3 days for 3 days, it's going to be 20% off. So I'm gonna right now. What I'll do is I don't run the merch shop, so it's like a third party company. I have nothing to do with it, and it's not Amazon. So listen, it doesn't come like in a day. It takes maybe like a week to get there, but it's worth it. Let me just see if I can pin that. No, because sometimes when I click on it, it just takes me right to the link, and I just want to pin it, but I can't. So oh wait, there we go. All right, the merch shop is pinned in the chat. So here is what we have. Some of the fun things we have in the merch shop. There's a Free Karen Reed on the front shirt with the on the back. I went to Cancun with attorney Melanie Little, established in 2024, because that's when that rumor started. It's been going on for that long. I'll point out to you that the Bella and Canvas women's stuff runs much smaller than the things that are unisex or men's. Also fun. It comes in lots of fun colors. There's a Free Karen Reed t-shirt in lots of colors. There's a men's shirt with that same logo on the back. I went to Cancun with attorney Melanie Little. And then we also have the mugs, the shirts, these sweatshirts, which come in pink and many other colors. And same. And then there's let me just show you the other designs, which are where. I thought there was a way to sort it by design. This hoodie is awesome. I have this hoodie. A lot of you have this hoodie. It's Bella and Canvas. It is like the softest hoodie ever. It runs huge. I have it in orange and white. It's got the free Karen Read on the front, and then on the back, it's got the I went to Cancun with Melanie Little. It is super, super soft and it runs super big. It is called the Bella and Canvas Unisex Full Zip Hoodie. Love, love, love. And then I think these are free Karen Read. No, wait, where's the ones that stay cool, stay kind, stay classy? Why do I have to scroll through everything? Hang on. Then we have the It Strains Credulity line with Alice in Wonderland on it. That's the mug. The What Say You with I Am Not a Cupcake, sort of like with a line through it. That comes in tie-dye and some other designs. Then what else do we have? It Strains Credulity comes in a lot. But where's the Be Cool, Be Kind, Be Classy stuff? Oh, this sweatshirt is also super, super comfortable, and it's called the Oversized Hooded Sweatshirt. It's the oversized hooded sweatshirt. I have it in this color, and I think I also have it in this color, this oatmeal color, which I love. This one doesn't say free Karen Read on it. So it depends on what you want, you know? Depends on what you want. I don't know where the other design is. This shop has been wonky too. Like sometimes all of a sudden my stuff isn't there, like certain designs, and then I have to email my guy and be like, what happened to this design? I don't see it. Like, yeah, where is that design? Here it is. Okay, so this one is free Karen Read on the back, and then on the front, it says, stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. We are outraged. Attorney Melanie Little. That comes in a couple of different colors. And just remember to please check the size chart because I have no control over this merch shop. So if it doesn't fit when you get it, I can just tell you to please just check the size chart. This one says free Karen Read on the front, and then on the back, it's got the stay cool, stay kind, stay classy. We are outraged, Attorney Melanie Little. Okay, so that is what we got. And the link to the merch is pinned in the chat. Make sure when you go in there, you click this little coupon at the top, 20% off everything, because it doesn't automatically give it to you. You have to instead make sure that you do it. Okay, everyone who has put hashtag FKR, there's 1,368 people in this drawing right now. You have to be willing to email me your address today so that I can send it to you. And you also have to email me the link to what it is that you want and the size and color. All righty. They're still at lunch because Ted Daniel has not yet tweeted anything more, but let us, as such, refresh the page and ready, set, go. Isn't this so fun? Do, 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 do. Yay, Cheryl OKC, Cheryl OKC, you are the winner. Come on down, Cheryl OKC. My email is in the show notes. Find it, email me your choice of merch. Cheryl OKC. I still have a winner from like a prior stream who never claimed. The user was Sushi, and Sushi, you never contacted me about what it is that you wanted. And so there's that. Don't put it in there more than once. Don't put it in there more than once. It's international. I think I can actually ship to, or they ship, I think, to most countries. In fact, they even translate my sayings into other languages. So there's that. Well, what do you mean I don't go long enough? Hashtag FKR. This has been on, it's been on for like an hour. It's been on for like an hour, but you know what? Since you said that, we'll do another one. We could do another one. Don't worry, I'll allow it. Don't put it in more than once, so you're not, it's still the same drawing that you did before, so don't put it in there more than once. Because if you put it in there more than once, it automatically disqualifies you. Okay? Swiss Miss did win last time. That's right. You did. You like it? You likey? You likey? Swiss Miss won. Melanie says, this is an awesome prize. And look at Pretty Insane says, I love it so much. I think I'll get the oatmeal too. And can't decide which one she wants. Janae's like, I'll take sushis. I'll take sushis. Hashtag FKR if you want to be entered. Congratulations to Cheryl OKC. All right, are they back from their lunch yet? Are they back from their lunch yet? Oh, you know what? I wonder if Law and Crime is like still in the courtroom, if they'll like start live streaming if and when a jury is selected. Hold on. Does anybody know if anybody's Law and Crime? I mean, there's some more motions to be decided. Maybe they'll come back tomorrow and we'll get a motion hearing out of it. I don't know. Would be good, right? But I don't think so. The waiting is the hardest part. All right, we're going to draw again. We're going to draw again. Never fear, because I'm here and we're going to do it again. But for the next 3 days, it is 20% off in the merch shop. I have pinned the link into the chat. And we are ready. Hashtag FKR. Do not do it more than once or StreamYard automatically disqualifies you. And we're going to do it again in 3, 2, 1. Here we go for your choice of merch. And there are, this time, 1,529 people have entered. You have to be willing to send me your address. Okay, here we go. Do, 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 do. Christy Murphy, you're the winner. Come on down, Christy Murphy. You are the next contestant to win your choice of merch. Thank you, Christy Murphy. Email me your information. My email is in the show notes. You're going to have to do a little bit of work and you're going to have to tell me what you want, what color, and what size while we wait. Yeah, you know, thank you for emailing this to me, Anna, because somebody else has posted merch with my name on it in some rando website. I don't know what to do about this, if anything I can do about this, but there's this other like random website. I don't even know who this is or where it is, that has like my exact slogan on merch that is not mine. So do not order this stuff from whatever website this is, DMJC Designs, that say I went to Cancun with attorney Melanie Little on them, because I don't know who this person is or why they're selling merch with my name on it. Yeah, somebody said they just saw that when they searched for my shop. Jury selection has ended. Hold on. Who's tweeting that? Has Ted Daniel tweeted it? Because that's the yeah, it is weird. I don't know what to do about it. Okay. I mean, it says I'm hearing that there's a jury, but where are you? Who's confirmed? Has Ted Daniel confirmed? When do we go back? When are we going back? Christina Rex tweeted. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, my amazing viewers. Yeah, so I don't know who's selling merch with my name on it, but I'm not really happy about it. Okay, breaking. Jury selection has ended for Karen Reed's retrial. Okay, so what does that mean? What does that mean? Breaking. Jury selection has ended for Karen Reed's retrial. 1 minute ago, she tweeted that. Yeah, somebody. Okay, that's cool. What's next? What's next? We start tomorrow? We don't know. We don't know, but it's over. We have a jury. We have a jury. Okay, so we wait for further instructions. We wait. Here we wait. Jury selection has ended for Karen Reed's retrial. Okay, and now what? And now what? Well, you know what? In honor of celebrating the fact that we finally have a freaking jury and hope that we either come back tomorrow or Thursday, I would, we're going to do another giveaway. We're going to do another giveaway only if you have not already put hashtag free Karen Reed, not free Karen, hashtag FKR. Only if you have not put it in yet, because it will disqualify you if you do it again. Put it hashtag FKR if you want to be entered in your choice of merch. We'll do one more. We're doing one more in celebration of the fact that we actually have a jury after 10 days of jury selection. All right. Well, it says breaking. Ted Daniels says a jury has been seated for the Karen Read trial. Court resumes tomorrow, but openings will not begin until Tuesday. Tuesday. See you next Tuesday. But tomorrow, motions will begin at 10 a.m. and we will be here. We will be here tomorrow at 10 a.m. to cover the motions. Yes, we are getting there. We're getting there. Openings will be Tuesday, motions tomorrow. I'm very excited about that. Yay. We're coming back tomorrow at 10 a.m. for the jury. The jury's picked. The jury's picked. Yay. Let's go back to the giveaway tool. We're going to share this instead. We now have 1,669 entered in your choice of merch. Hashtag FKR if you want to join. Don't put it in more than once. We're going to do a third one in honor of the celebration of finally having a freaking jury. And let's hope and pray, praise be, under her eye, that we don't lose any more. But we have 18. And that means there are 6 alternates. Six alternates. So far, we've given away 2 choice of merches. The first winner was Cheryl OKC. Second one was Chrissy Murphy. And hashtag FKR. If you would like to be entered, you just need to send me your address like as such today and tell me what you want and what size you want. And make sure you look at the size charts. And again, in 3, no, don't do it again. Don't do it again. It will disqualify you. I don't know. It's weird. StreamYard has a weird thing. 1,715. I'll give you guys another second or more. Oh, thank you, Zelda. Thank you, Lady Zelda, for your Venmo. Richie asked me to send 2 Commonwealth mental daggers. I think I will. Lady Zelda has a channel. She does tarot card readings and other things that are wicked cool. She talks to spirits. And if you're into that sort of thing, go check out Lady Zelda. Is that the name of your channel? Lady Zelda Kelly? Hashtag FKR. Yes, we know. Opening on Tuesday. Motions tomorrow. Where have you been? Where have you been? Have you been cheating on me? Were you somewhere else that you didn't know that we've been talking about this? Dorothy, were you somewhere else? Were you cheating on me? Piccadilly Songbird says, it's nice the jury is selected, but it makes me super nervous for Karen because we all know the Commonwealth can't stop, won't stop until they have her locked up. I know. I know. Lady Zelda Kelly, that's her channel. Thank you for your Venmo, sweetheart. All right, we're going to do this one more time. Praise be, Laura says. Karen is one step closer to being done with this absolute disgrace of a trial. I'm so excited to see Alessi in action. I know, I can't wait either. I cannot wait. Cannot wait. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., we're going to do motions. And Kooky Carolinian says, I go to Zelda when I need to chill about Karen Read. She calms me down. Yeah, she's got the most calming voice, doesn't she? We love Lady Zelda, says Proctor's missing pension. Right? I need a Melanie Little merch hoodie. Did you enter, Ipsy Dixit? Thanks via Cash App. Ipsy Dixit. Sherilyn says, thank you. And yay for tomorrow. Thank you for your Cash App, Sherilyn. All right. Are you ready? Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Are you ready for it? Here we go. Hashtag FKR. I'm going to give you another second if you want to put it in there. Don't put it in more than once. 1,772 people are entered so far. And Mary Rothman is here and says, Bobby Scissorhands. 9 men and 9 women. All right. That's great. That's fantastic. I love you back, Lady Zelda. Thank you. 9 women and 9 men, eh? Let's just see if there's anything more. While you put hashtag FKR, if you'd like to be entered. Tomorrow, motions starting at 10 a.m. 18 jurors seated, 9 men and 9 women. It's wild that we're doing this again. A full year later. A full year later. I mean, it's wild. Here we go. I'm drawing again. 1,792 of you are entered. And 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Do, 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 do. Is anybody live streaming outside the courthouse that we can watch? Yay, Lisa Wortham. Lisa Wortham is the third and final winner chicken dinner. Lisa Wortham. Email me your address. Congratulations, Lisa. Email me your address and your choice of merch. And you too are a winner at Chicken Dinner. The link to the merch shop is in the chat. It's 20% off for the next 3 days if you choose to want to buy anything. All you got to do is make sure that you hit the coupon at the top. The coupon. Thank you, Marjorie, for the cash app that you sent yesterday. I appreciate you. I think it was after the stream had ended. If I didn't thank you yesterday. Is anybody live right now that we can do a cupcake invasion on? Or nothing is here. Sorry, I saw on Valo, trial judge asked the jurors if they had any questions for the witnesses before the witnesses are being let go. Question for the witnesses. Yeah. The jurors are not allowed to ask the witnesses questions in Massachusetts. That is in a different state. And in the Valo trial, the witnesses are allowed to ask questions of the witnesses during the trial. So if that's what you meant, no, not allowed. Not allowed here. No way, no how. Just change my name. Says, come at me, 913. Come at me, 913. Well done. Well done. Let me just see. We can't get near the court to stream, says Scott McGinnis. We're 200 feet away. Okay. All right. Just me. I'm the only one live. I've got it all. Defense Diaries. What are they doing over there? I don't know if they have it set up so that I can do it. Like some creators don't allow what do you call it? Redirects. And I've asked Lara to set it up 100 times. He's like, I don't know how. I'm like, well, you better figure it out because I could send 6,200 people to you if you would set it up. So thank you for come at me 913 for changing your name. Loves Bill Reed. Do we have to enter it again now? No, Michelle, you could only enter it one time. Thanks for tuning in from Norway, by the way, and trust this method far more than the Commonwealth tile drawing. Oh yeah, you mean the StreamYard giveaway tool. Yeah, should we do one more? Should we do one more? Just because I'm feeling like super generous today and because, 20% off and we could do one more. Let me just check the back channel here. We're coming back at 10 a.m. If you were just tuning in, the jury has been picked in the Karen Read trial. There are 9 women and 9 men who will be sitting on this jury. Openings will be next Tuesday. However, we'll be back in court tomorrow at 10 a.m. for a motions hearing. So I guess we're going to learn about all the motions that we haven't heard about yet. And it's going to be good. And we're going to be here for it. Do not enter again. If you've already entered one time, don't enter again because it will disqualify you. So just enter one time, #FKR. If you would like to win your choice of merch, if you are randomly selected or selected or supposedly selected by the tool of the I can't even think. This has been a long day, you guys. It doesn't feel like it, but it's been a long day. If the tool of whatever the hell this thing is called, StreamYard. Let me see something here. All right. Defense Diaries is live streaming Lori Vallow's 6-day of trial. Do you want to go there or do you want to go to... I don't see anybody else that I am allowed to redirect to that you guys would follow. That is live exactly right now. So if you would like to go there, I will send you to Defense Diaries and you can tell Bob and Ellie that I said hi. All right. Yes to Defense Diaries. Okay, cool. I have not been following the Lori Vallow trial. I just do not have the bandwidth to do more than one of these trials at a time. And so we will send you there. It'll be a cupcake invasion on Bob and Allie. You can tell them that I said hello. All right. So when I hit end on this, it will send you right over to Defense Diaries. Okay, ready. We're doing one more draw. Docket. What happened on the docket? Hang on. Did something happen on the docket? Haas Long to open. We're opening on Tuesday. Tomorrow we're going back at 10 a.m. for a motions hearing. It's very exciting. I don't know if I'm ready for this, to be honest with you. I just don't know if I'm ready for it. Well, the last thing that I have on the docket is 670, which we just went over. That was defendant's motion that they're going to use visual aids during the trial. So I don't see anything else. All I know is that tomorrow is going to be a motions hearing. So that's all I know. That's all I know. All right, we're doing one more. Ready? 1,868 people. You still have one last chance. Hashtag FKR to join. Okay, ready? Set, go. Do 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 do. Dawn Jones, come on down. Dawn Jones, you are the fourth and final winner of today's merch giveaway. My email is in the show notes. The first name picked was Cheryl OKC. Winner number 2, Chrissy Murphy. Lisa Wortham was number 3, and Dawn Jones, the fourth and final. Congratulations, everyone. My email's in the show notes. Email me your choice of merch, and I will ship it to you with your address, size, and color. This was a fun day. It's been 3 hours and 15 minutes. Thank you so much for spending your day with me. I love you with all of my heart, each and every one of you, so very much. If I don't see you soon, am I going to die? Says Clemenza's Meatball. However, I will see you tomorrow, a little before 10 a.m., because that is when the motions hearing is going to be happening tomorrow. So we will be back very soon, my friends. Thank you to the moderators for keeping it classy in here. It is not always easy to cover this case or anything out of Norfolk County because trolls abound everywhere. Replay viewers, please smash the like button, share the stream out. It helps a girl out. It's free and all of those things like that. Do all the things that YouTube likes. I will see you in the morning. If I don't see you soon, I'm going to die. I'm sending you to Defense Diaries for a cupcake invasion in 3, 2, 1. Stay cool, stay kind, stay classy, stay calm. We're getting there. We got some Karen Reeds to free, and it's happening. And like Bill Reed said in the first clip I showed you this morning, come at me. Peace. Go read Defense Diaries.